know the music. You know what that means. It is BRAP time. It's Wednesday night. It's a little past 9 o'clock, and we are live. And we got a great show in store for each and every one of you. Whether you're watching the show live or you catch it on the replay, we got a lot to talk about. Has some great topics. I want to give a big shout out to everyone in the live chat right now. Jeff B. Gaming, Buck Roger, Terrell Johnson, Merlesco, Dark Optimus, my fellow LGO member. If you don't know what that stands for, it stands for the Latino Gaming Order. There's only two members, me and Optimus, but that's all right. Anyhow, want to introduce the panel real quick. Well, actually, before I do that, I'm going to drop the link here in the live chat. Everyone, please retweet the link. Let everyone know that BRAP is live. And, yeah, we got a lot to talk about today. We're going to do a year one review of these next generation consoles. Xbox Series S, X versus PlayStation 5. Who had the better year one console launch? We're going to talk about that because I can't believe it's been a year since these consoles have launched. And we're going to also talk about Halo not being the best Xbox exclusive. You can probably guess what game I'm referring to. And then we'll get into some...
to be seen, but go ahead.
Yeah, then we're going to get some Elden Ring impressions. But regarding the first topic, one of the topics, the year one review of these consoles, this gentleman had a spicy take today on Twitter when I talked about this. And according to this gentleman, and I don't know, he walked in the room and I could smell something, I don't know, just something great in the air. This man says that there's only one true next generation console. He goes by the name of Jay Bari. Bari, you smell that?
That PlayStation fragrance, man. It smells good, don't it, Brap?
Yes, It does. It smells amazing.
You know when you turn on that PlayStation 5, you hear that beep, and then you go din 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 din. You know what I mean? You just get a whole whiff of that. You know what I mean? It's a great console, man. Yes, I only recognize one next gen console. I'm sorry to my other people over there on other platforms, but you got to do something different. You know what I mean? You got to mix it up. I don't feel there's nothing new over there. But
yes.
Nah, man, appreciate the invite, man. You know, we out here. Jay Bari, the best listener on YouTube, man. Looking to have some fun this show, man. So let's get it.
Yeah, Bari, we're gonna need to see your gaming credentials too. No, I'm just joking. But
that's private information. I've privated my account, and that's just the way of the dodo bird. You know what I mean? That's how we're gonna do it. That's the new wave. And I'm just giving all these opinions on games that you don't know if I played or not. You know, that's what it is.
Yeah, well, I understand the caution there because you know your name, your credit card information, your social security number could be all stolen
absolutely.
if you give that out. So
absolutely.
Yes,
you know, I have a very lucrative and high managing position, so I don't want to give that away with giving away my gamer tag. So please understand, guys.
Bari, I completely understand, man. But great to have you back on the show, man. And then we got my good buddy here, Mr. Everboard Saga, somebody who actually I don't always see eye to eye, but I love talking video games with and actually was in a spaces with him last week. A great Halo conversation, by the way. It was really good. Everborn, welcome back to BRAP, sir. Is Everborn there?
He is on mute.
He's on mute. All right, so we're gonna
That
have to.
is true.
Oh, there he is.
I'm back. I'm here.
He's back.
I was saying, what's happening, everybody? Happy to be here. Happy to talk about the great year that both PlayStation and Xbox had. Looking at you, Bari. But lot of things to get into, and I just finished playing Forza for the last hour and a half. Pretty good. Good.
Yeah. No, it is pretty good. We'll talk about that game here in a little bit as well.
Oh wait, before we start,
yes.
There's like 50 people in here so far, and there's only 18 likes. So if we could get those likes up, that would be great. And I know we'll talk about this later, but in case you don't know, I got a Kickstarter going on, and I'll tell you more about it soon.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that as well. Big shout out to Gaming with Persona. Big shout out to him and Jay Bari. Have an excellent podcast on Saturday mornings. What's Up PlayStation podcast. So definitely check that out on YouTube. Then we got
Sean
my man
Layden on there.
Oh yeah, that was a great show. So then we got my man Slobo backslap. Slobo.
Yo, what up? What up?
What is going on, man?
Man, chilling. What's up, E? How's it going, man? Yeah, I'm having a good one, man. Hope everyone else has been having a good Wednesday. Let's get into these topics, though. Let's do it, man.
Absolutely, man. And I want to introduce this next gentleman here. Let me tell you something. If you're not listening to him, if you're not listening to when he speaks, you need to. Because if you were listening to BRAP a couple weeks ago, this man said, hey, there might be something, might be a big announcement December from Sony, and then an article comes out. I want to welcome B Money 101. What's up, B?
What's going on, fellas?
Not much, man. Just B, are you gonna drop some? Well, are you gonna tease something today? Is what I want to know.
Hey, man, you never know. Depends on what comes up in conversation, man. You never know. I can't let you know it's coming. You know what I mean? It's just if it happens, it happens. You gotta be paying attention. That's all.
These are the facts, man. This is what I tell everyone. So, but now, B, great to see you on, man. And then we also got my man, Mr. Eric Jackson. Everybody, EJ, what is going on, sir?
Oh, chilling, man. Happy Wednesday to everybody. Good to be here. See, we got my boys Everborn in here, and my fellow Jay Barry says he just loves gaming.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Right?
sir.
What's happening?
Yo, you was killing
Eric,
me on Weapon Wheel with that, bro.
Yeah, that was pretty funny, Jay.
Just love gaming, man.
Just love
Yeah,
You know what I
gaming,
mean? Ever since
Just
I
love
was
gaming.
2 when I pressed that button.
Just love gaming. No doubt,
Eric,
man.
I haven't seen you in the Twitter streets recently, man.
Oh,
Have you actually
man,
been living real life?
Always, man. Life is always comes before like these spaces and people losing their minds. Same conversation since 2013.
Facts.
Sometimes I don't know, man. Sometimes I don't know how guys just don't get tired of the same discussion over and over and over and over again. You know.
I feel like that was geared towards me and Bari, but yes.
Oh,
No, definitely not. No, not you guys.
Definitely not.
No,
No,
not you
but
guys.
on the real note, I mean, I can jump in there and go back and forth. It's fun. I'm just
Spaces does it passed the day fast. Like most of the spaces, like I really and truly just want to sit down and listen. It's just people be like, either they be calling me out for no reason,
I'm
they
not even talking about
requesting me to
spaces.
speak.
I'm not even talking about spaces. I'm just talking about the same like numbers and like just that same stuff over. I'm not talking about the spaces. Spaces can be entertaining. Like sometimes you just put it on and just laugh at how serious people take some of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't get how people get into the point where they're ready to fight, like digital fight people. It's like
You got dude
It's been
showing
more
up.
than that, though. It's been some physical threats as well.
Yeah, you got dude dude showing up at parks trying to fight people.
Oh God.
You know,
Absolutely.
I can show up and show my face and threaten you with bodily harm, but don't ask me about my gamer tag. That would compromise me. That's crazy.
over games, man. It's like what
Listen,
we doing?
that's gaming 2021, man. You know
The
what I mean?
irony of that, yeah.
You don't have to be physically there to try to hurt someone. Back in the day, you get salty, like, yo, I'm about to throw this controller at this motherfucker. But now all of a sudden, you just be on Twitter. You never met this person a day in your life, and you wanna fight this person. That's
Now,
how
Bart,
it is.
let me ask you though: is that like the Spaces effect? Because we've been around this thing for a long time, right? Like in the Twitter space.
Mhm.
And it got a little heated in 2013, 2014. Remember how dudes used to be like, yo, if I see you at E3, it's on site.
Oh, yeah, that's a fact.
That actually did happen.
And it's like, my dude, you can't show up to E3 ready to fight because you will find yourself kicked out of E3 real fast. But you remember how I used to get like heated off stuff
Yeah.
like that. It almost seems like Spaces has kind of brought back some of that, but to a different degree.
Well, I think I thought for me Spaces was like, because in a tweet you can lose a lot of context, and because
Yeah.
you have to be short and very direct because of the character limit, everybody comes off as being kind of snarky or assholish. And I
Right.
hope that Spaces kind of lent to the context that you would hope was really there, and tone and inflection, so you could understand sarcasm. But no, these people are really just assholes, like a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And
Now there have been some spaces, not many, but there have been some that have been, I would consider, if you want to say productive, or have actually been pretty cool, or people just had a good conversation. But yeah, some of them definitely go left, like real quick. You know, it's kind of wild.
Yeah, that's kind of wild.
I think Luke is right. We are a drama community.
We
can pretend otherwise.
We've been seeing that since 2013, man. That's not even anything new. So,
EB, I've always said if Twitter was like a room that like an outsider could just open the door and look in, like Twitter gaming, they'd be like, "What is going?
The fuck is happening here?" Yeah.
You know what? I have a theory. This is a reach, but I feel like this is why you look at Twitter Spaces and you just look at Twitter in general, and you can see why we've never gotten a good video game movie yet. Because I don't think the filmmakers respect the audience. They think that all we do is drink Mountain Dew and Red Bull and like explosions and like
bags of
arguing
Doritos.
with each other. Right. And then they'll just come into one Spaces and they'll be like, well, confirmation bias.
Yep, here we go. Yep. Yeah, here we go.
Give him another bullshit movie.
Yeah.
Because you get good comic book movies because they respect the audience, right? Yeah, I just don't think these filmmakers respect the video game audience yet because they think we're not mature.
Yeah. I want to grab the super chat from Gaming Forte. The $5 super chat says, "Dang, who's burning incense in here? Oh, that Jay Bari and sometimes terrible take. It is sometimes terrible takes. Thanks for joining the show, brother. Everborn put Bari in his place. Wow, look, Slow-Mo. Forte's not.
I don't have bad gamer takes. As long as y'all know.
Yeah, I don't think you do either, Bari. And then we got $5 super chat from Game Over Brian.
That's my dude, though.
Oh, Game Over Brian says, "Hey panel, I have questions for Slow and Bari. When upgrading Avengers, do trophies pop automatically and need?" See Bari's PSN with his photo ID and DNA sample.
Oh man, I need a DNA sample.
Wow. Now we're asking for DNA samples.
Well, first, the trophies do pop automatically. Game Over, Brian. I'm glad you asked about that. About Bari's DNA, I don't know why you need that, sir, but I'm gonna let Bari handle that.
Game Over, Brian, with the classic questions again.
Yes.
The trophies do pop automatically. Only if you upload your cross save from the PS4. They have like a step or two that you have to follow. That stirred a lot of controversy in the gaming community.
Yeah.
I never thought something like that would be bringing people to like wanting to like lay hands on somebody else.
I'm not surprised, man. I mean, they gotta
dudes will share a pathetic credit score before they share their gamer tag. Like, I got my credit score 300.
Wow, you said 300. I'm on the up and up. I'm at 550 now.
Yep, man. I just hit 375.
Okay,
but you can't ask for that gamer tag. You can't ask for that at all.
I do want to play devil's advocate just a little bit.
Oh, here we go.
No, hold on a minute before I start. My gamer, I'm Everborn Saga everywhere, right?
Yes.
It's not about like hiding the gamer tag, but I do think that I have never once asked Bari, Slow-Mo, Eric, BRAP, anybody on this panel or anybody I converse with, I've never once asked them for their gamer tag, because if I converse with you, that means I respect you enough to believe that you're telling the truth about what you say. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. And if I think you're a fraud or I think you're lying, I'm just not going to converse with you. So the only argument is I understand okay, trust but verify. But what I'm saying is if we were debating in good faith or having a discourse in good faith, that wouldn't be necessary. And if you feel like someone is lying, just stop talking to them or stop listening to them. But I just feel like nobody owes anyone their gamer tag, but you don't have to give them credence if they don't want to give it to you, if that makes sense.
No, I think it definitely does.
I don't think nobody owns anybody their gamer tag. It's just I feel that if we are a part of a gaming community, Gaming is something that it's a hands-on experience. You know what I mean? And a lot of people, in my opinion, from especially with Twitter Spaces, a lot of people just want to talk. You know what I mean? Like they just want to talk. Like I understand you can have an opinions and stuff that you haven't played and stuff like that, but the way how a lot of people are swaying their opinions, you would think that they played the game, or they try to make it like they play the game, or they're trying to pose how you should be playing the game or how this game is, but they haven't played it. So that's why these checks should be done. Is in any other community or hobby, what happens in gaming wouldn't go down. It's just the fact. You're not doing that in the sneaker. You're not doing that in the car. You're not doing that in the book club. You're not doing that in the comic book. You're not doing that in any of those hobbies. You're not even doing that in fishing.
There are a lot of people that talk about comics, but they really just watch comics explained and things like that, and they didn't really
that's a fact. You can tell as well.
It does happen in the comic book space.
You can tell that somebody that knows their comics, they can point that out really, really fast. You know what I mean? And those questions are posed to those people. I've seen it for sure. And you know what I mean? It's not like you're trying to swipe at somebody or try to diss
Hey, can
somebody.
you guys hear me? I'm getting like a really bad connection.
Yeah, I can hear you.
You sound fine.
Yeah, I can hear you clearly. Can everybody else hear everybody?
Yeah, I can hear fine. I don't. Yeah, he's coming in loud and clear.
No,
yeah.
I'm just saying that in a lot of communities or hobbies, stuff like verifying other people's like opinions or just verifying people, I think that's a normal thing. It's not to attack anyone or put a slant to anyone. It's just, hey man, we just want to make sure your opinion is valid. And I don't think that's
like
you're
coming
thing.
from. Like they're coming from a place of knowledge.
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, everybody always claims that, oh my God, I love gaming. Ever since I've been playing the games, I love every aspect of gaming. But the one aspect of gaming that all of a sudden people don't like is the part that people can be verified, and that's with trophies and achievements. I don't understand. I never seen this talk where people try to hate on trophies or achievements last gen or during the PS3. But now all of a sudden when PS5 and Series X come, when we see a lot of new people coming along, they're trying to dictate what people should be talking about. That's the issue that is going on in my opinion, in the gaming community.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, I think that's definitely fair, and I think like to what everyone is saying, it's kind of a way, because you're more connected now through different ways of communicating. It's almost a way, if you know somebody's kind of BSing, it's kind of a way to just kind of weed out how much time I actually gonna spend on this person. You go. Because the general person, if they're actually having a conversation, discussing it, and they say they really care about gaming and love gaming and want to be a part of the conversation, even if they have like a 500 gamer score or 2 trophies, they're like, yeah, I don't give a damn. Look at it. My profile's right there in my thing. It shouldn't be this huge point of contention where it's going down into this whole, that's personal and that's this and that. It's like these systems were built in to have gamer unity. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, that's kind of what they're there for. So it's sort of like, so I get what you're saying too, EB. Like, it's like, yeah, I mean, a lot of times you just don't waste your time on having conversations with people. But if you have somebody out there that's like going at somebody and spouting like nonsense or whatever, you just kind of go, well, you're talking so much about it. But as I look at your profile, I don't see anything where you really touched it. How can you really speak on it like this? And then they get that heated, sort of like, yeah, like, well, why am I going to even bother like having this debate with you?
Yeah. Hey, I missed everything in the last like minute and a half.
Oh. No. Discord's having some kind of issues. I had to basically restart Discord completely because it for some reason it just like when it started when Bari was talking, everything was garbled.
Yeah.
And then like I dropped out, came back in, and I couldn't hear anyone. So I just kind of closed out Discord completely.
Wow. Okay.
Enrique's getting hacked because he shared his gamer tag. And
See?
I put my PSN ID in my trophies if someone hacked me. Got you.
No, but
got you, BRAP.
Gotcha, bitch. No.
Yeah, right. Gotcha, bitch.
No, but I think that the problem with this whole debate is a lot of it is just people who were fighting about something else before and still fighting about this new thing. And even if everyone gave their gamer tag tomorrow, the same people would be fighting tomorrow, right? So it's just another excuse for people that are already, for some reason, angry at each other fighting. That said, I do think that the two fronts in this debate are having very different conversations, right? Like, so what I gather that the trust but verify side of it is saying is exactly that. Like, I've been in this community a long time, and there were frauds, and so now there's new people, and I don't give anybody the benefit of the doubt no more. So I want to see, if you call God of War a sad dad walking simulator, I want to know if you played it. I get that. But the other side of that conversation, which is why I say people are having two different conversations and they're just yelling at each other, right? The other side of it is there are people that feel that that request is used as a form of gatekeeping, and this, whether that is true or not, that's how they feel, and then not, people are not actually listening to each other, right?
Well, you know, everyone, I've been seeing over the past 2 weeks, I've been seeing people show their gamer tags and their PSN IDs, and you know, these people don't have really high trophy levels, they don't have really high overall gaming scores, and I haven't seen anybody
I haven't
saying,
either, man.
ew, what is that? Like, why
Well,
is your...
I can personally tell you that has happened to me. I'll share the tweet with you. I don't want to put the name of who did
Okay,
what,
that's
and we've
okay.
seen it again. So, but I don't. That doesn't bother me, right?
Look, even if that does happen, the person who did that needs to be called out, because that's like, the sharing of this stuff isn't to say, oh, I'm a better gamer than you because my score is higher. Because clearly, like, if you look into how that stuff is calculated, basically you could play a whole bunch of garbage games that you don't even care about just to collect trophy levels and gamer scores and get a higher level than someone else. Overall level, that doesn't mean you're a better gamer than them. Like, it's just like, people who do that are like, they need to be put in a particular category. I think it's the same category you put the people who be capping about games they play that they don't actually play. Now, all that said, like, I mean, I know people who just, all they play is like three or four games. They'd be like MMOs, you know, like games where they're actually spending more time in those games than, say, anybody on this panel does on a weekly basis. Are they any less of a gamer? But their gamer scores, their trophy levels would be much lower. But what I really trying to say is that, like, the bigger thing about showing it, I understand some people feel like they're trying to gatekeep me, but if you're going to talk about games and then say things, especially some of these sides where they're not saying things because they actually feel that way, they're mostly saying things because they're defending a particular side in an argument. And I remember years ago when I first came in this community, I ain't gonna say who it is, but this person's a content creator, and they got called out for defending Halo Guardians and saying the campaign was great, and come to find out they had never even completed it. And it's that kind of stuff that needs to be called out. And when you hide, and this person attempted to hide they privated their achievements, but they still were on, was it True Achievements, True Gamers, what is it called? I think it's called TrueAchievements.com.
True Achievements. That's what it is, yeah.
They were on that, and people were able to find it that way. Like, it's better that you just show what you have, whether it be low, high, in between, whatever, of what you play, so that when you're speaking about games and you're saying certain things about games, that people won't be like, wait a minute, that doesn't even make sense. Are you sure you played this game? Like, did you just say that the monster is a wildebeest in Until Dawn? That's not what that is. There was a Wendigo. Did you play that game? Like, this kind of stuff, like, we are seeing it become a issue today because there are newer people in this community based off of these Twitter spaces, and they're pushing back on basically just things that like tools that these platforms created to celebrate what you do. And so I don't understand what is even the point of hiding it unless you got something to hide.
But this is the thing, right? And a lot of that is, again, it's like we are so sort of, it just feels like we've all become cynical, right?
Mhm.
So the guys that don't, and girls that don't want to give their gamer tag, a lot of them are saying, I don't want to give it to you just because you asked. And they feel like, and it's like someone, when somebody just tells you you have to do something, and then you're like, well, who the hell are you? Right? That's most of, like, that is like 90% of the pushback on the thing. It is not because they're trying to hide it. And I know some people give different excuses of why. And I always tell them, the people that I talk to that do that, if you don't want to give someone something, just don't give it to them. You don't have to have a million excuses or reasons as to why. Just say, I don't want to give it to you because F you, right? And then they can say, well, then I don't want to listen to anything you have to say. It's just that it's really a fight between people who have been in the community and seen people lie, with new people who are coming in the community and feeling like they're being checked for their ID because they don't belong thing. And I'm not saying that that is the case, but I'm saying that's how they actually feel. And if we could empathize with each other, maybe there's a way forward in
what's
that
the problem
discussion.
with that though, Everborn?
Yeah, I was gonna say
The people that are like that, they just need to just play their games. Why are you trying to be the front man, or why are you trying to play this gaming politician role? Just play your goddamn games if you don't want people questioning you. You know what I mean?
That's where the
go
clout
out
chase
in the
comes in,
forefront,
Barry.
but when you go out in the forefront like that, you know what I mean, or representing of a brand or whatever, that's just a natural thing. People's gonna want to verify you. If you don't feel like you want to give people, or you have some type of reason why you don't want to give people your game tag, then my advice is shut the fuck up and go play your games.
Well, so I will agree with you in that sense, because the people that I talk to about it, I say you cannot go into someone else's spaces, right? And they say that that's a requirement, and for you to speak, or for us to listen to you, and then be mad and say you don't want to give it to them because that's not your space, and the group of people here are looking for that. Now, you're very free to go and do your own space where that's not a requirement for you. But I do get that. It's like they will come to, let's say, one of Code's spaces or one of your spaces and say, I want to talk and I don't want to give you that. But now you can't come to my house and change the rules. You can do whatever you want in your house.
I've witnessed that, and there's a dude in this community that me and him have a back and forth for some strange reason, because of he coming into Code space trying to change the rules that he dictated in his space. You know what I mean? And that's all the issue I ever had with this dude. You know what I mean? And my man was just like, he does not want to listen to what Code has to say, or what he wants to do in his own space. And I felt like, nah, it's not happening here.
Yeah, gentlemen, let me. Yeah, I'm going to go to B. I know B was trying to chime in, so I want to give B the last word on this, and then move on to some other topics. B, what were you going to say, man?
I just kind of feel like, we're on a social platform, and if you're going to speak on experiences, why is it such a big deal to have proof for those experiences? You know what I mean? Like I'm in a bunch of communities, not just gaming, camera, electronics, everything, sneakers. You guys know I'm a big sneakerhead. So I mean, when you get into those communities, you're talking about materials, you're talking about, the latest release or whatever the case may be. Like, if you copped it, then you got to show off that you actually copped the shoe. If you're talking about something that's wrong with the shoe, or that it didn't have good QA on it, or anything like that, you have to prove that I copped the shoe. This is what's going on. I'm sending it back, or whatever the case may be. And I think it's the same thing with this whole gamer tag thing. Like, if you're talking about that you beat this game or whatever, and you had this particular experience or whatever, and people are questioning it, why is it such a big deal to just say like, yo, yes, I beat the game. Here's my gamer tag. Go check. You know what I mean? I got all the achievements, or you know what I mean, platinum trophy or whatever the case may be. Because like, if it was anything else, you know what I mean, you would just answer the question. So why is it such a big deal to now show your gamer tag?
To push back a little bit, and then BRAP, I know this wasn't a gamer tag topic tonight, so I apologize. But like, I do a show every Thursday where we talk about movies. Slow-mo, you were just on the last show. We talked about Doom.
Yeah, pretty heated.
It was heated, but at any point, did you ask to see my movie ticket?
No,
right?
But no,
So
but I can
let
tell.
me ask you this, EB. So like, if you had the conversation about Doom, would you expect everyone to see the movie before they spoke on it?
Sure, but I want to trust.
So that's the same thing. So like, if you had people on a show, you would expect them to see the movie. If they start saying crazy stuff about the movie, that doesn't make sense.
Like if
what movie did you watch?
Exactly. Yeah, like if Slow-mo said, "Hey,"
Slow-mo
they
did
should
say that to me during the show.
If Slow-mo said, "Hey, I love the lightsabers they used."
Right. Like someone said something like that, and it's like, okay, did you see the movie? But no, I mostly said that to everyone because I was poking fun at his point of view. It was mostly out of jest. But if somebody was there, like on the panel, which is a Dune spoiler cast kind of discussion panel, and they're talking about, instead of talking about Paul Atreides, they're talking about Luke Atreides. You're just like,
but isn't that enough to give them away? Do you need to see their movie ticket?
Well, no, but like, that's not a thing that's easily seen, because a movie ticket is like, yeah, you could get an email, but there's ways to get a movie ticket where you don't get an email. But there is no way now where you would play a video game on a console or any other platform and not, well, except for Nintendo, thanks Nintendo, but where you could play a game and then there is no like footprint of what you did with the game. Nearly all games now have the achievements or trophies where just completing the game gives you a large amount of the percentage of trophies or achievements for that particular game. Especially if you beat it, then you get like, you know, the most that one trophy / achievement. If you play through the game, even if like someone says, you know what, I ain't like that game. Matter of fact, great example of that on Scumcast years ago, I was accosted. I was questioned. How dare they, right? That I didn't play Elder Scrolls games because I said Elder Scrolls games were trash, and they are. And if you don't like it, oh well, you know, you like trash, but that's cool. But I said they were trash. People got mad at me. How dare you talk about Bethesda games? I mean, you can tell the difference in time because people, you know, don't talk like this about Bethesda anymore. But I was told by somebody on the panel, I don't think you played these games, Slow-mo. And so I was asked, can you prove that? And I went through my Xbox profile, found the achievements that show that I had at least played some of the game. Did I beat them? No, because why would I beat a game I don't care for and I think sucks? But it at least showed that I played the game. And that's all people are really asking for. If we're going to have a conversation about something that, but like some people, and I understand what you're saying, but I feel like you're speaking from a place of how almost kind of like how you would deal with things, but there are people out here who have very disingenuous like discussions and conversations where they're not really trying to have a discussion. They're really just trying to prove a particular point, and they were willing to lie about their experience about a game or lie about a game in general to win the point. And that's easily disproven if you can determine that the person didn't actually play it.
Yeah. All right, look, gentlemen.
I guess I'm a glass half full kind of person.
Yeah,
let's go.
I do want to move on because I got some super chats I need to get to. Want to grab a super chat from good buddy T-Rock 40 $2 super chat says Elden Ring. Yes, Elden Ring. We'll talk about that here soon. Where else? Game Over Brian with the $2 super chat says, thank you, Slow-mo. Ruined Until Dawn. Spoiler alert.
This is the second time somebody has told me. Shout out to
Code.
who told me the same thing. Slowmo, you just ruined Until Dawn. That game been out for 6 years.
It's been out for
If
6
you
years.
have not played
Yeah.
Until Dawn by now, you do not want to play that game. So
Yep.
any
Great game, by the way.
spoilers that come out of it,
Yep.
that's all on you.
Yep. And then Game O'Brien gave the $2 super chat. Says, spoiler alert, didn't know Dune had lightsabers. That's funny. All right, Elden
Maybe
Ring.
it should have.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's another conversation. I don't. Okay.
No, I
So-
don't think they need to copy
Yeah,
anything
so-
from the copycat.
So we so I didn't get into the Elden Ring network test beta, whatever it's called. I don't think anyone else on the panel did here. I'm not aware of anyone. If you did, let me know. But I gotta say real quick, Elden Ring looks fire. And the impressions, I've watched a couple impression videos. I read Gene Park's article in Washington Post. He talked about Elden Ring, kind of that open world. Was it Maximilian? I think it's a YouTube content creator. I was watching some of his stuff, the stream, and watched a little bit of IGN. This game looks, it just looks amazing. And it sounds like Miyazaki has nailed the open world. Because listen to Gene Park talk about the open world and how he was riding his horse, and he was like, out of the corner of his eye, he saw like this caravan of like these two beasts pulling carriages the size of homes, and there was this like dead army, and he's like, there's just things out there that make you want to explore. And he kind of gave the example of it's funny you're talking about Skyrim, Slow-Mo. He said this is kind of like the Soul Skyrim, if you will, but and then the gameplay.
I've heard
just
people
looks,
compare it to Soul's Breath of the Wild.
I've heard that. I was going to say that too. Yeah, like, and that has to do with the dungeons. Like each dungeon has its own unique like boss characters or level design. It's very unique in that regard. That's where that Breath of the Wild or Zelda, if you Zelda dungeons, comes into comparison. But I went on Twitter. I said this is going to be Game of the Year 2022. I know it's early, and I know I'm a little bit biased because I'm a Souls fan, but this game looks fire. Like looks really good. Bari, I want to go to you, man. What are your impressions, man, of Elden Ring so far? Assuming you've seen some of the gameplay footage, man.
Well, I saw the preview, that 26-minute little video that they put up, and I was sold right there because I wasn't really sold on it before because of the fact of the time that it was coming out. But I was like, I like what I'm seeing. I like that they're giving you a whole bunch of like offensive tools, like, mixing up the magic and the attacks and all that stuff. Where, the prior games, it feel like you have to like switch off on the weapon and do magic and switch off on it. This one feels like it looks like it's gonna be a little faster. I like the little summoning of the little spirits or whatever they called. It looked really dope. But most importantly, I like to explore in these games, man. I like the fact that they let you explore. It's very vertical. But they confirmed it today, well, PlayStation, I don't know if it's really true, that there's no like real fall damage as well. So I was like, oh man, sold. You know what I mean? Pre-order, boom, confirmed. I don't know when I'm gonna play it yet, but pre-order confirmed, you know what I mean? But I'm not like the biggest of Souls guys, you know what I mean? I could play them, but like, the reason why I like Bloodborne is not for the fact that it's just like a PlayStation exclusive, how people always like to put it. It's the fact that's how rewarding it feels to be aggressive. Like, if you have that aggressive type of mindset or play, it rewards you with that stuff where I can get health back, or they have so many different tools, or, your weapons you can play any type of way you want to do in Bloodborne. You know what I mean? I feel like, and I like that. And with this one, what I'm seeing, it feels like they're going back to that where they even added stealth to it. So they're taking the best of like all the Souls games, I guess, and just combining it in one. Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, I'm totally with that, man. So they definitely sold me on it. I pre-ordered on PlayStation 5, and that's probably gonna be like the game after I play like after I play Horizon and Sifu for sure. As that fallback.
Yeah, dude. I mean, Bari. What February? I was gonna say Wednesday. I don't know what's it. February is gonna be
Wednesday.
Yeah, February is gonna be busy for sure. What about you, everyone? I think you're a Souls guy, right? I don't remember.
No, I can't even
No.
tell you the last time I played a Souls game, to be honest with you.
Oh, we're gonna have to see that game. Definitely need to see that gamer tag.
So, but I am very excited about this because, like I said, as soon as I got Zelda vibes, like I was in, and it wasn't like just the kind of you look somewhere and you can go there. It was the dude that was like he was a pot and he had arms and legs, and you had to take him out of the ground. I was like, I'm getting Zelda vibes from that. And as far as the fall damage, how did you guys feel about the horse that was jumping so high?
I thought that was really cool. I like that dynamic.
So I don't know, Bari, I'm kind of like you. I'm definitely intrigued, but it feels like a March kind of game because I never finished the first like Horizon Zero Dawn. So I want to I'm going to be playing Halo in December, but in January, I'm going to be plowing through Horizon Zero Dawn so I can be ready for Forbidden West. And I feel like that's what I'm going to be doing for those 2 months. So I don't know when I'm going to get to it because 2021 is kind of stacked. But I've said this, I'm not a big fan of buying games on day one, but I feel like I'm going to succumb to the peer pressure and get that one. There's too many people talking about it. And I want to know what influence George R.R. Martin had. Like, and Slow-Mo, you tell me, does this mean the story is going to be unfinished and hard to follow?
Nah. This is probably about the only thing I really do know about Elden Ring is that they confirmed that him contributing to the story is just for the lore and world building, which he's actually very excellent at. That's a talent of his. He's probably one of the best in fantasy writing when it comes to that kind of stuff. If you look at A Song of Ice and Fire, which are the books that the Game of Thrones TV show was based off of,
books are so good.
The world building is excellent. He's just really bad at bad at being disciplined and writing out and finishing storylines and finishing plots and stuff. But all that other stuff is stuff that From Software is actually doing themselves. So he built the world and they're just kind of like making the story off the world he built, basically. Which is good. And because if they were relying on him to finish the story, then absolutely this game would not be coming out next year. Who knows when it will be coming out?
It'll be coming out next console generation.
Exactly, if ever, because we're still waiting. Literally, like the 6th book in A Song of Ice and Fire. He finished the 5th book in 2010. Think about that. It's 2021, and he still hasn't dropped the 6th book yet.
Yeah, the first book came out
book 6 is Winds of Winter, right?
Yes, Winds of Winter is supposed to be the 6th book. And no one knows at what state it's in, whether he's close to finish or not. He's very vague about everything. Some of my coworkers,
very paid.
Yeah, he is very paid. That's part of the reason why I think he just doesn't care anymore. But like I told my coworkers who are big fans, he doesn't care.
You know what makes it even worse, Slow-Mo? How many books has Brandon Sanderson put out in that time?
Do not even get me started. Sanderson is my favorite writer, and Sanderson drops a book almost every year. He's actually juggling like 3 series.
1,000-page books.
1,000-page books he drops like once a year, and freaking Martin can't write one in a decade.
And by the way,
Martin may have incentive to do it anymore, financially speaking.
He doesn't. HBO got him.
Sanderson writes the best action in all of fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
Just putting that out there.
Very true. I do.
I was gonna say, prove me wrong.
Oh no. He, like I say, he's my favorite fantasy writer. So I agree.
Hey, I want to welcome Mr. Gaming Forte. What's up, Forte?
What up, though?
So Forte, man, Forte, you've played Souls, Sekiro, I think, right?
I did. I didn't beat it, but I did.
Of course not.
No, I just Destiny took back over. But yes.
What do you think of Elden Ring, sir? Are you hyped?
Oh, it looks fire.
Are you gonna play it?
It's I don't know. More than likely. I mean, I said I was gonna. I might get further in that than I did in Sekiro. I don't know. Who knows? It depends on what Destiny's doing around that time. I mean, you know what? Witch Queen comes out in February, so.
Yeah.
Probably not. But I can tell you right now, it's going to probably be their most successful game ever, and I think it's going to sell I think it's going to sell the most ever because
I think so.
all of the quality of life things that they did inside the game, it looks like it's really going to skew towards the casual base. I think it's still going to have that hardcore feel when it comes to people that like Souls games and endeavors like that. But for the most part, people that just want to pick it up and play, I think they're going to find they're going to probably see that as an enjoyable time. They may not beat it, they may not finish it, but they're going to sell a lot of copies of that game because it's the first time that you're going to see a game that's kind of that wide open and not territorial like the original entries were. Even Sekiro is kind of territorial with sections that you go into, where this is like they kind of trick you to think that it's like really, really open world because the background is kind of static, but it looks phenomenal and it just makes you want to be inside of that world. And I think that's kind of going to be the thing that's going to lend itself to a lot of people trying that game out. Just like people try out Assassin's Creed and fall off of them because they see how much crazy this is going on the map. I think this game's going to probably be a little bit more focused in its intent in making people, progress through the game at a natural rate. But only time going to tell. But I do think this game's going to, I think it's going to be head and shoulders above what they've done in the past.
Yeah, no, I think so too. Do you guys think that there's any unwarranted or unnecessary competition between this and Forbidden West? Because they both kind of
no.
Are they talking to the same audience at all? Is what I'm asking.
No.
Okay.
No. First of all, I think Horizon. It's the second, we kind of forget that Horizon is the second in a franchise, so it's still building its player base and building the people that are going to enjoy that game. It already has a kind of built-in player base just because it's a PlayStation title, and PlayStation people just like to support their games and stuff when it comes to that. But it hasn't been supported on a mass appeal that people could have supported, where Souls games, the sky is the limit kind of at the point, because they already had a small community of people that just love Souls games. And now you're starting to see it hit mainstream with the last couple of entries they had in it. A lot of people, went out and bought Demon Souls just because it was one of the few PlayStation 5 games available day one. You had a lot of people buy Sekiro just because it was game of the year. They went out and tried it again, and it sold really, really well. And you're going to see this game kind of do the same thing. It's that mass appeal that's going to kind of hit, but their initial player base and fans are going to always be there. So I just think Horizon has a little bit ways to go before they can get that following from people to say, oh, I love Horizon, like Horizon. It's not on that level like Naughty Dog games are when it comes to like Last of Us and Uncharted. People are just true fans of those franchises. And this second Horizon can definitely do that, but it hasn't hit that fever pitch yet.
Yeah. I want to go to...
but that said, like, Horizon Zero Dawn has sold more. That one game has sold more than... like all the From Software games, maybe all of them combined. Maybe the last one might make them more, but like that as dedicated as the Souls community is, they're still a small. They're still small, community.
Exactly.
Yeah, whereas the Horizon games are from Guerrilla Games, Sony first party, is getting all the marketing that Sony puts into it, and Sony does great marketing for their games. Guaranteed. Like, this is, I'm not saying it's a comparison or saying that you were comparing them, but like Forbidden West is going to outsell Elden Ring.
That's not even
multiple times over.
That's not even a question. Yeah.
But I posted in the general game and channel in the Discord, like the games that are slated to come out in February and next year, and frankly, I feel like not all these games are coming out the way they are. If you look at the past 2 years, we've seen games get pushed to February and then they get pushed a month or two again. And it's usually sometimes we say it's because they're trying to avoid this game or that game. But I think it really is just that, like, if they really wanted the game to come out in the holiday, but it wasn't ready, and then it's really just still not ready. I mean, you got Dying Light 2, You got Horizon Forbidden West, Destiny 2 Witch Queen, Sifu, Elden Ring, and the Saints Row remake. That's all in 1 month.
Great way to
Like
kick off 2022. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I think like and I remember last year there was like 5 or 6 games slated for February, or maybe this year. Yeah, this year. I mean, there was a bunch of games slated for February, and then slowly you started to see them move to March and April. Basically, just it is what it is. I think February is like a placeholder month when you just know you're not going to make it that year. And they just pick a date in February and they say, sure, this is where we're shooting for.
Yeah.
But they don't even know really if they're going to make
so
that.
Wait.
I don't want to use.
Time out real quick because I want to rope in because I want to wrap this topic up because I do want to go to the Halo thing. But I do want to go to.
You spent 40 minutes on a topic that didn't matter earlier. But
I want to.
That was my fault. That was my fault.
I want to go to. I want to go to Eric and to be money on the Elden Ring thing. E, what are your impressions of the game? What you've seen so far with this with the tech test?
Well, yeah, I didn't get into the tech test, and I think I was like one of the first ones to kind of jump in and try to get it. They didn't even respond to me and say, "No, you're not."
They didn't respond to me either. Yeah.
So I saw people posting their rejection. I'm like, damn, I didn't even get the rejection. All right.
You may not have wanted the rejection. I think some people got excited. It was like, I got an email, I'm in. And then they opened it and it's just like, wonk, wonk. No, you don't.
But the impression video was really good, and it definitely solidified for me that I'm definitely looking forward to playing it. I do need to play Demon Souls before Elden Ring comes out, but I'll be completely honest, I'll probably be on Horizon before I get on to Elden Ring.
Yeah, I have Demon Souls done by in December.
Yeah. But like Slomo said, yeah, we've seen this before where February ends up being like a stacked month, but somebody's going to move out. And I honestly would not be surprised if Elden Ring moved a little bit.
I was just about to ask, who do we think are the weakest links for February? Like the ones that we definitely don't think are going to make it.
Saints Row and Dying Light. I mean, Dying Light. Those are the two.
I thought Dying Light got pushed back again.
Yeah, they already.
Dying Light in February too?
Yeah,
it was in February.
I think
it was December and it got pushed to February.
That would be the 19th. The 19th delay for
yeah.
I thought it got pushed back again.
That happens.
Lord have mercy.
But that game was supposed to be out a long time ago too.
Right.
Yeah,
so,
it was, yeah. All right, B, what do you?
No, but I can see Dying Light, not Dying Light, but Elden Ring move not to get out of the way of anybody. If anything, people need to get out of the way of that game. I'm just saying, it wouldn't be uncommon from software to delay it a little bit more for like more polished stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
But I got the collector's edition on lock, so I'm ready. Nice,
me too. Did you get the one with the helmet?
No, I didn't go to that one. I went
I went the
just the statue. You want the statue?
That's what I got too, man. Yeah. So I got it through.
Statues are easier to display than helmet stuff. So.
I would agree with that, 100%. Yeah. B, what do you think, man? What are your thoughts on the tech test impressions that we're seeing?
Yeah, the game looks amazing, man. I believe they showed the gameplay off like last week. Whenever they did the 20-minute showing or whatever. That's all I really need to see. You know what I mean? Like open world, that dragon just kind of flying out of nowhere. I was like, yeah, I'm in. You know what I mean? Day one for me. So just, wait for the release date and I'll be there day one, man.
Be there before you know it too, man.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's right. That's right, Forte. Yeah, I'll be here quick. That's what I'm saying. I hope it doesn't get delayed. But if it does, I've got Horizon, so maybe that's not such a bad thing.
What would you play first if it comes, if they're both that month? Horizon, I think, comes out first.
Well, if Horizon comes out first, I'm definitely going to get into that. But if Elden Ring comes out like a week later, 2 weeks, whatever, I'm definitely going to stop. I'm going to stop whatever I'm playing and play Elden Ring. It's like the thing with Horizon, and this is the thing. Well, this is the thing that kind of sucks about Horizon. A lot of people stopped playing Horizon because a game came out like Breath of the Wild and they just dropped it and never went back to it. And I can see something like Elden Ring, if it does come out, especially those people that are super into Elden Ring, that could history could kind of repeat itself. Because the one thing I realized when I was playing, because it wasn't that Horizon was a bad game, it was boring at the beginning of it, but it definitely does pick up if you can get back into it. It's the type of game that you don't want to kind of walk away from.
It's like once you start it, you want to play it, and you want that to be a game that you just kind of main until you finish it, because it's a pretty big game, and who knows the direction they're going to go in the second one and how that's going to play itself out. I just hope that if Elden Ring does come out, that people get enough time in with Horizon to either kind of finish that game to completion or something, because I can kind of see the same thing unfortunately happening again with those people in particular, not with just people that want to play, games like Horizon.
I mean, even if that does happen, that's a very, like, the difference between like the people who love Zelda versus the people who love From Software games is
there's a lot of people that did it.
People are buying Zelda without the console.
Right.
You know what I mean,
that was nuts, bro.
That's totally different.
I'm buying this system because I'm buying the game, but I can't find the system.
That's funny. That's wild. Yeah,
it's already over 100 million.
I like I said, I threw this out on Twitter. I said this is Elden Ring's gonna be Game of the Year 2022, but we'll see. We shall see. We'll find out soon.
Hey man, you talking kind of early, man.
Yeah,
Starfield at the end of the year.
You're not even in 2022.
Hey, we haven't seen anything of Starfield though, B-Money. We haven't seen anything from Starfield.
Yeah, we saw.
Look at that sound like a clout
Starfield.
Thank you, Jay Barry.
Oh boy.
But look, but speaking of Starfield,
There'll be no fanboy on this podcast. I'm just letting y'all know.
Thank you, Jay Barry. I do want to get to another topic here. Halo is no longer the best Xbox exclusive. And why am I saying this? Well,
here we go.
Forza
for a while.
Thank you, Forte.
Forza,
Forza.
we see your gamer tag.
Which one you want to see?
The minute you slander like that, people are like, I need identity. Let's go.
What you want to see? Time in Forza? You want to see Halo gameplay? What you want to see?
You're right. Forza.
No, for real.
Forza
Horizon
Horizon.
is one of those guys that Slow Mo talks about. Like, he got all that time in Destiny, so don't go looking for like some major landslide of gamer score or whatever.
Yeah.
No, not from my game. I'm still over 100K though. That's the funny thing.
Yeah. But so
you did all that before Destiny came out.
I did. That's the funny. No, listen. I before you moved, like literally, I was talking to Sir Taz, and we were talking about achievements earlier today. We were talking like, Call of Duty, Mile High Club achievements, how long it took us. You probably saw it, Slow-Mo. We tweeted it in the DM when we got it. It was like back in 2008 and stuff. And then I thought about it. I was like, man. As I was looking through my list of all of my achievements from like before like 360 all the way up to 2011, I was like, man, I had 87,000 achievement points coming into the Xbox One generation, and I'm at like 105 now. So I only went up like 27,000 points in almost 10 years, and not even 10, in almost 10 years, because freaking Destiny took 7 of them away from me.
Wow.
So. No, Destiny didn't do that.
Yes,
Destiny you did that. See, this is how drug addicts talk when they were like, man, that crack got a hold of me. No, you got a hold of that crack, you crackhead.
Listen, it was that Blue Magic. We went and got it wholesale, and we were selling it at a loss.
Wow. All right, so look,
Forte, you were in a toxic relationship with Destiny.
Yeah, we're not going to get.
It has taken away the best years of your life.
We're not going to get Forte on the Destiny
time for you to get your groove back with Halo Infinite. Talking. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, I already
Halo Infinite's taking
all right, so Forza Horizon is the what I'm saying is the premier Xbox exclusive on that platform now. Like, if you just, look, if we'll use Metacritic as an example here. Look at the last Forza 5, Forza Horizon 4. This thing is just, it's just the level of quality, the consistency there it's just doing something that other larger titles from them aren't doing. I know Everborn, you say it's to be seen whether or not Halo is still number one. I just don't think it is anymore, based on the quality of the franchise of Forza Horizon 5. The popularity, well, no, it won't match Halo's popularity, but I feel like it's getting even more popular now. Like they, I think it's had like 4.5 million players or something.
Yeah, Phil Spencer said it was their biggest launch in the history of the platform. So that means it launched bigger than any Halo game.
Yeah. So it's the biggest launch on Game Pass.
I don't think that's what he said.
I think that's
I'll go back and look for that. I thought he was saying it was their,
but aren't they
largest launch.
Aren't they talking? They're talking from like the numbers played, right?
Yeah.
Number of players. Yeah.
But see, but that's like a different
number of day one.
They're playing by a different metric now. But they're playing by a different metric now. Because it's one thing to talk like player count, and it's another thing to talk like what the sales count is.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Yes.
And for years they've been playing with the whole player count, like 1,700 people pop popcorn in whatever game. It's like
shoot, 1,700 people pop popcorn.
Or 17 million people, however many. But so that's a different metric that they're kind of playing with.
They're just talking about engagement at this point now.
Right.
That's all their metrics.
But they did have like a million players in the pre-launch, though, right? And you had to pay to be in that.
You had to
pay to be in that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was like $44 or something to get it.
Yeah. If you were in Game Pass, it was $44. If you weren't, it was like $100. I think. I wasn't paying that, but
I was like, nah, I'll see you on Tuesday.
I put it on Twitter. I put it on Twitter. It's like, should I do it? And everybody was like, do it. And I was like, no. I can wait. 4 more days.
Everborn need this Kickstarter money. I had a choice.
Exactly.
It's right. Especially
I appreciate you, sir.
The thing that's funny is, especially when the DLC for that game, you might get the first DLC by the time they discount it, because we all know Xbox love to do discounts, and they do discounts on season passes. And at some point in the next 6 months, before that DLC even probably comes out, you're going to be able to get that DLC for $40 or $30.
Can I soapbox for like 30 seconds? As a community, we got to stop buying these games on day one. And I'll tell you why. These games
stop.
Yes, they launch with bugs, right?
Oh,
am I right or am I wrong? Do they launch?
Not all games.
Not all games.
Not all games.
Okay, cool.
Just Xbox ones.
Which games are you talking about here, sir?
I'm not shaming any developer.
Everyone, are you referring to Forza
like that?
Are you referring to the Forza Horizon 5 bugs?
I'm referring to Returnal, sir. But anyway, the thing is,
Lord.
More seriously, if we all have a backlog, right? Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of games we know we could be playing, but it's like a new game comes out and we're like squirrel, and then we buy it on day one, and then we gotta wait for them to fix any bugs that are there. And by the time we get to how many games, everybody on this panel, how many games have you bought on day one, haven't played it until later on when you got to it, and by the time you got to it, it was on sale for half price?
Everborn, let me. Okay, I'm gonna have to preach to you for a second, sir.
Okay, please.
You're asking people to change the most human thing about them.
FOMO.
Exactly. It's like
shit's real.
I ask people this all. Listen, I ask people this all the time that walk into my store. I'm like,
wait, Forte.
They'll look at the wall.
Forte, real quick. You make money. You make money off of my FOMO. You do. Your store does.
I do. My store makes money off of Enrique's FOMO and more. I think Enrique has probably contributed over $1,000 of FOMO to my store in the last year, but probably more.
Like, I got to have that.
I gotta have it. But no, the reason I think is because I used to for a while always, and then I just finally started asking people. I was like, people would come into the store to look at a wall and say, hey, what's good that's out right now? And I'm like, well, this came out. Oh, yeah, I'm not really interested in that. I say, well, what do you have at home that you're still playing? And they'll name like 6 or 7 games. And then they'll say, well, I also got games that I ain't even started yet. And I'm like, dude, then why did you buy those games? That's because people, they don't know what they want. It seems like it's something they want at the moment, but then they get home, and if it's not on the top of their priority list, it just gets put into the backlog. So you telling people that, yo, you got this massive backlog, you need to work on that. That's never going to change, because people, no matter what, will always walk into a store, go on their Xbox or their PlayStation, look down a list of games to see what's new in there, and they're going to buy whatever interests them. And it could be something that's a day one thing. It could be 2 weeks after day one. It's just the fact that people do not like to I don't want to say, because a lot of people do finish their games. They'll start them, they'll finish them, they won't move on until they do it. But the majority of people, you asking them to do something that is theoretically impossible inside their head. It will never happen.
All I'm saying is I just bought Guardians of the Galaxy and Kana, and I bought Returnal day one, but I didn't finish that because it got on my nerves too much. But Kana, I absolutely plan to finish. I bought Far Cry 6, right? And now I'm playing Forza, right? And I'm gonna play Forza for a little while.
When did you buy Guardians? When did you buy it?
I bought Guardians like 4 days ago.
Why did you buy Guardians?
Because I kept seeing people share it.
No. Listen, exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I'm just saying
you can't ask people to be perfect.
So
One
second. Me and Bari just said we are going to play Horizon before
Jesus Christ.
Before we play Elden Ring, even though we want to buy Elden Ring day one.
No, bro. You can't listen.
Horizon comes out a week before Elden Ring, so you can definitely do that. But Everborn, you bought Guardians 4 days ago because you saw people sharing things and seeing like something about the game made you say, "I want to enjoy engage in this too." But you didn't. You bought it and then you didn't do it.
You ain't do it.
And 4 days ago,
yes,
did you have early access for Forza?
No, I wasn't paying for that. That was coming to Game Pass. Absolutely not.
What stopped you from playing the game?
You know what's the real reason? Because I knew I was waiting for Forza and I wanted something to play, even though I had just the week before bought Far Cry, but I just didn't like it. So I left it alone. And the same goes for Back 4 Blood, right? I'm just saying, if we're not going to play these things, should we be buying them? Is that not a valid question to ask ourselves as a community?
That's not a valid question for you to ask when you're going out here going against the grain and doing exactly what you say you shouldn't be doing.
Well, that doesn't mean it's not wrong.
You can't ask that question,
I'm confused. Okay. You're confused me, Everboard.
Okay.
Oh my God. Okay.
All right. Let me wait.
I'm gonna answer his question directly though. With this, I'm gonna act like this ain't you asking this question, because you asking this question is crazy.
I don't take my own advice.
Yeah, you asking this question is crazy. I absolutely agree. People should stop buying games day one, because all we do is get broke games. Every once in a while, we get a game that comes out and works on day one, but we have also went through a generation of games not working on day one. But guess what? People are not going to do it because they don't feel like themselves is going to make a change in what the overall feel and what a game is going to actually be perceived as by boycotting a game on day one.
But that's why I truly believe games on day one.
Well, that's because
they know you're not going to buy it anyway.
Because you're not going to get the overarching community to dive in with you. If you can say 70% of the people that were going to buy this game will not buy it because it's broken, then guess what? Developers will go out of their way to make sure their games worked on day one. But if you can't guarantee that type of percentage where it's going to really hurt their bottom line and people ain't walking into stores or going online and buying their game, then guess what's going to happen? They're going to continue to keep giving you games and piecemealing you update after update until that game is 100% done. Think about games like Call of Duty. Call of Duty was giving us updates a month before the new one came out for Cold War, because they're still fixing stuff in the game that's been out for over a year. So it's just this feed me mentality that's going to keep happening because people are doing exactly what you're saying. They're jumping in, not caring about the situation and what the game is in, and they're just enjoying what they actually have. And people have become desensitized to it. But that ain't going to never change evermore, because people are never going to change when it comes to that. You can have your show back.
This is ground zero. Maybe this is where we start the not buying games.
This is ground zero.
All right. Let's get back on topic here. Yeah, that's not. So I want to pose a question to the panel again. Is Forza Horizon Xbox's best exclusive now?
Yeah.
And why do you say yes, Lomo?
It's one of their best.
No, it's the best.
I think it's their best studio.
It's the best critically. Yeah. It's also is the best studio they have, based upon their ability to not just hit the mark of a certain level of excellence and game performance and quality, but then to go back and do it again. And so, yeah, they're their best studio. They'll, as I call it, level up if they could actually do what we see some other studios do that showed their versatility with hitting that same mark with Fable. And I think that's definitely possible, but we'll have to see. But yeah, they're the best studio. They look what they have achieved, and look at what the rest of the studios have achieved. Look at what Forza is doing right now as far as impact and people playing the game versus the last time we saw Halo. And this is coming from a guy who loves Halo, but still, come on. We got to think about that. Think about how people feel about Halo right now. You know,
yeah, that's a great point.
There's excitement for the multiplayer, but there's a lot of trepidation about the campaign.
I like that.
You guys see, did you check your DMs? The Ryan McCaffrey's going to show 11 minutes for the campaign tomorrow.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, I thanks everyone, because I retweeted that out. So we're going to see something. But like, I mean, look, I was hoping that they were going to show us, they were going to really wow us with the campaign overview. That didn't really turn out the way that I thought it would.
Right.
Yeah, they showed you a sizzle reel.
Yeah. Right.
Well, I want to say, like, what camp do you fall in? Because you could fall in two separate camps. You could fall in the camp of, from the campaign overview that it was like, it was dope and they showed you whatever. And then you could also fall in the camp of, it seemed like they still hiding something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only reason I say that is because we've seen developers, when they know they got that fire, they know they got that heat, they can't wait to like lay it out on you in some major way.
They're bold.
To your point, man, Forza Horizon 5, look how much footage we got.
Oh, they couldn't
weeks
stop
before
showing
that game. They couldn't stop showing it.
They did.
It was like
probably the best.
Go ahead, give you some more of this
I've ever
Forza
seen
Horizon.
for a game.
What's the question?
No, is Forza Horizon the best IP or the best? Enrique, we say the best series.
It's their best
It's their best
IP.
series now. Best series. Best Xbox IP now. Over Halo.
Yeah, for a critical standpoint, I think it's their best IP. But I heard people was like, "Yo, Turn 10 is like their best developer."
Well, Playground.
Playground.
I mean, Playground.
Turn 10 is for regular Forza.
It's hard to tell for me personally because they've been creating the same game for 6 years, or even longer than that. You know what I mean? When it comes to Fable coming out, then I'll have that conversation. But what are they really doing? You know what I mean?
But
Well, you tell me what
compare
studio they got to do anything.
Compare it to the rest of their studios. Like, yeah, they've been making, and it's the same format, but a little bit like they make a little bit of changes after each one, and they drop one every 2 years. But like, compare them to the rest of the Xbox game studios, as well as even Bethesda. Like, I think that's like the level that we have to compare it as, because if you talk about Microsoft, Xbox's best studio, that's who you're comparing them to. And I think, maybe just me personally, I feel like they outclass the rest of them.
I understand that. I mean, from a critical standpoint, as far as how critics view you, I would say yeah. But when I look at the studios, and this is even when I look at overall Xbox studios, they're not really doing nothing different than what they've been doing. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard for me to pick who's the best studio as of right now. I would still say like probably I know it's gonna sound contradictory, like Coalition, because I can see an evolvement within the Gears franchise. Like what's the studio? Playgrounds. There's no really evolvement. It's just the same shit. They make a good game. They make a great game. And they're just continuing that flow of a great game. When Fable come out, and if it's a banger, then I'll have that conversation again. Look, they did something completely different here, and they did a great job. I would consider them the best studio for me personally. But right now, I have to look at like the Coalition. That's their best studio.
Go ahead, Slow-Mo. I'll come in after you.
I was going to say that I don't know what the marching orders are for Playgrounds when it comes to how much time they have with a Horizon game, but they're usually Like you know how like you see a game that comes out on an annual basis, like Madden, for example, and there's almost never any changes to Madden besides like a roster update and some minor stuff because they literally have a 9-month development cycle before they need to get the game ready for launch. Playground doesn't have it that bad, but it's similar because they can't really do a lot of changes to the engine, even though the engine has been slightly upgraded. But I guess when we see the next motorsport game, you'll see like Forza Tech, the big upgrade to Forza Tech, as well as Fable. But they can't really do a lot of changes there because they don't have the time. They can't really do too much outside of the same game design because if it's like you need to have this out in 2 years, like it needs to be out in 2 years. If you want like a super evolution in what Forza Horizon is doing, you're gonna need to give them more time. And I think the rest of the studios do get more time. Like the Coalition did Gears 4. Fairly quickly. So I do see your point with the Coalition because they think they did Gears 4 in like 3.5 years. And then Gears 5 was like another 3.5 years as well. So they're not exactly taking a long time either. But I think the critical success as well as the visual presentation of the game and just the fact that they're just kind of delivering what people ask for. Like if they say, hey, look, deliver an arcade racer. All right, but here you go, here's arcade racer. I feel like when it comes to the Coalition and Gears, if you talk to people who are hardcore in the Gears community, I think they're probably less satisfied with the Coalition than you would find Forza fans with Playground. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, that's a good point.
I understand the whole community aspect. I'm just giving from like a point of view from what I'm saying, like from playing.
Yeah, I can't hear you. I'm gonna drop out and come back in because I can't hear you. Hold on.
Oh, can everybody hear
but
me?
Barry,
Do I have to
agree
drop
with
out?
you though, Barry. No, I hear you, Barry.
Okay.
Now I agree
Yeah,
with you. That's not to take
Barry,
away. That's not to take away from the achievement that they do with Horizon. But I'm with you. It's like if they can come in with Fable and make something crazy and make people make that a discussion.
Yeah.
Then that's when you really say, okay, where's their place in this whole thing? You know, and it's like, and that's what we got to wait and see.
Yeah.
And I'm actually excited for them to actually step outside because I honestly would like to see the Coalition step outside of Gears and do something.
Me too. I think a lot of us would.
Been saying that for years.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, B.
Discord's tripping, man.
Yeah, Discord is. Yeah. I can hear everyone.
Money.
Yeah. Hey, B. So B, what do you think, man? Like do you think like it's that Forza's the best, of the bunch now for Xbox?
I mean, I think Playground is probably the most consistent, and maybe we can say that only because their game comes out every other year. You know what I mean? So they have more games to kind of tally up versus everybody else who takes 3 to 4 years, to release their game. So of course they're in the forefront of our mind. If Coalition or any of the other studios, were kind of releasing games at that clip, maybe we would look at them a little bit different. I think the one thing that Microsoft kind of needs is they have all these studios now, but if they had a studio like Insomniac that was just constantly pumping out games similar to what Playground is doing with the racer, but just in a different genre, I think we would probably look at them a little bit different. But I think because this is a racer, it's it's only going to attract a certain audience. It gets the benefit of the doubt. I mean, it's a good game. It's consistent. It consistently gets high ratings. You know what I mean? So people kind of hold it up a little bit. But if it was a different studio, then maybe people would look at it a little differently.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Let me throw this out, Regan, before you move on to all you guys. And based off what B is saying, because I know this always comes up like when Forza drops, and I know people, in a lot of ways, really want to see an Xbox game be nominated for Game of the Year, and they want to throw Forza in there, right? So like, where do you guys like fall in that? Because my opinion of it is, any game can be a Game of the Year, but what what typically gets a game into a game of the year, and a lot of the times it's the discussion around the game for usually extended periods and how it motivates and how it moves people, right? So, and depending on what that conversation is. So I know people are saying like, is Returnal a game of the year? I haven't played it, so I can't speak to it, right? I started playing Forza Horizon 5. But even in jumping in Forza Horizon 5 is hitting all the notes that we expect from a Forza Horizon game. It looks gorgeous. It plays well. The sound is good. The soundtrack is good. But that is always consistent in what we see from a Forza, right? But when it comes to when you talk about the game of the year, like B said, we get them so often that it almost it doesn't denote special either.
Okay.
So
you're gonna jump in it, you play it, it's fun, you enjoy it, you do these different. I'm not saying it can't be game of the year, because I also say I think people put too much weight in this game of the year bullshit. Your game of the year can be whatever you want it to be, and people get so caught up in getting the recognition of it. And I'm like, what do you care about the recognition of something for talking points on Twitter, But outside of that, I'm just talking about typically what we see go into games of the year. So I'm just trying to throw that back at you guys and get your feelings on it.
Hey, sorry, I'm back. I think I had the same problem Slow-Mo had again.
Discord got people in a chokehold tonight, boy.
It's crazy. And I have gigabit fiber connection, so I don't know what the hell's going on there. But
I'm not sure how much you heard that, everyone. But
no, I heard your whole question, but I didn't hear anything after Slow-Mo was talking. So, but okay. to the question about whether it should be game of the year, I agree. Anything should be in contention. I just don't like the idea, and not saying you're saying this, but it rubs me the wrong way when people just say it's a racing game, so it shouldn't be in contention, right? For me, I do think game of the year has to sort of coincide with some sort of zeitgeist moment for that game. And I feel like more than any other Forza, it feels like more people are talking about it. But you guys can tell me, was everyone playing Forza Horizon 4 like this and talking about it the way that they're talking about this one? Right?
No, and I think let me answer that really quick, because because I'm kind of with you on the racer thing. We've seen racers that have come, it's not the genre it once was. I mean, racing owned the gaming space for a long time, right? So no, I don't think it's because it's a racer it shouldn't be game of the year. But I always think when a Forza hits, it's usually the same thing. The first few weeks, it is the talking point. And then it kind of fades away. Now, I think what happened with Forza Horizon 4, people were into the weather systems, but for whatever reason, that game faded faster than 3 did. But I think 3 kind of had the distinction of being the next gen Forza Horizon.
Okay.
And then 4 dropped, and it didn't. I mean, the seasons were cool, but it really, ultimately, I think people were more impressed with, and maybe had their fill. I know I did. I had my fill with Forza Horizon 3 by the time 4 dropped, and I was like, I started, and I was like, I'm kind of had my fill, and I moved on to some other games, right? So with Forza Horizon 5, I'm kind of ready to jump back in and see what it's going to offer. But even in jumping into it, it feels very, very familiar. It hasn't, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous. It's doing all the things I expect a Forza game to do. And that's why I tweeted the other day when I saw the review scores, I'm like, Forza Horizon is going to do what it does. These guys have this under their belt. They know what they're doing with it. Will it continue the conversation a couple of weeks out?
Well, there's a few things to that, though, right? It's weird because when we talk about, game of the year and that award, it technically only needs to be talked about for a few weeks. And this is a cynical view. I'm not saying whatever, but all they have to do is have it be talked about until the game awards, and that should be enough. Now, whether it will last beyond that, I don't know. But I will say, because I did not play Forza Horizon 3, and I played Forza Horizon 4 for maybe an hour, and then I put it down, right? Mm-hmm. So this is largely a new experience for me. And it doesn't feel like just a regular racing game, like Motorsport or Gran Turismo or whatever, right? Because the open world aspect of it and kind of being able to drive anywhere, do anything, go on missions. I feel like it has enough of a casual effect that you can have anyone pick it up, and that should, or in my opinion anyway, speaks in its favor. Now, it's not my game of the year, but I can understand the argument why people say it should at least be considered, because I think it's doing enough where it's more than you have to beat this car on this track, right? Between you know, the drivatars where you could race against other people where you're not really playing against them in real time, between the open world map, between you go and race and do what you want to do. I just feel like there's enough happening that it is a game for almost anyone. And I think it's doing things that no other racer is doing. And anybody can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I feel like when you are doing something so different in that genre, now it might be samey for Forza Horizon, but is it samey for any other game in the racing genre? I think that answer is no, but maybe you guys can bring something else up. And so it strikes me as best in class. And for that alone, and the fact that it's accessible to everyone, says it should be in the consideration. But that being said, my game of the year is still Death's Door.
So, and we're definitely talking about Keeley's Video Game Awards, right?
Well, yeah, that's usually the default now, Slow-Mo.
Right.
When it comes to the game
it's
of
the
the year,
most popular one because,
right.
usually, I think sometimes some people, and I'm not saying this is you, Everborn, but usually when I have this discussion with people, they start bringing up the mom and pop video game awards, and it's just so from a Twitter account that got less followers than I do, did a award show and getting awarded it to a game that usually doesn't even get nominated in the Keeley Video Game Awards, and it's just all right, I get that, and I'm glad he got that award, but that's not this award show. And usually when people talk about what's game of the year, it's almost like by default they're talking about the most popular award show where consoles are being revealed, games are being revealed. No one's revealing jack at the GameSpot award. No one gives a crap. No one even is. I don't even know if it's televised, right? So when it comes to the Keeley Award,
you said it's like the Golden Globes.
Yeah, basically. one great, whatever, right? So it's when it comes to the Keeley Awards, there's definitely a bias towards certain genres. And racing ain't one of them. And I do think that Forza Horizon is deserving. As I said for the previous one, I thought the 4 was deserving as well to at least be nominated because of just the overall quality of the game and it being the best in that genre in that year. But it's probably just not going to happen.
Slow-mo. Probably even 3 for what it was
doing. Yeah, exactly. It's 3 as well. 3 as well, but
yeah.
It's not going to happen though. And this year is no different. I don't see why people are making it such a big deal this year. Well, why can't it be nominated? I'm like, well, because it hasn't before. History, history shows that racing games don't get that kind of nod. This is what's going to happen.
I think we're going to get
a big AAA game that's going to be in there. Resident Evil Village. A Nintendo game is going to get in there, Metroid Dread.
An obligatory indie game that won't win.
Right.
Like it happens every year.
It is the best indie game. Exactly. It's going to be Death's Door. The best indie game of the year gets in there.
Takes two.
It's like Celeste, that one year Celeste got in, Hades last year. This is what they do. Your winning is the fact that we even nominated you to be among these giants. So, hand clap, but don't even prepare a speech because you're not winning, right? So, but that's just the way it works. It's very formulaic and it's really easy to see the formula. And people always bring up Overwatch, but there's another part of the formula. If you are a darling developer, you get in. Period. You're going to get Blizzard ain't that no more because all the allegations. But at one point, Blizzard was just so beloved. It didn't matter what they came out with. It doesn't matter how many times they delayed the game. Everyone loved Blizzard. So and at the time when Overwatch came out, that's who they were. It was almost as if Rockstar was going to drop a game. And when Rockstar drops a game, you damn know where it's going to be a part of the Game of the Year conversation, period. It doesn't matter about it. So it's just like, that's Overwatch is different. You know, that's not a, what was the game Cliffy B made that was like Overwatch? You know, like, yeah. Overwatch would have been Lawbreakers if it wasn't made by Blizzard. I'm just keeping it a buck, okay?
I think Overwatch winning or being nominated has to do more than just Blizzard being beloved. It was something that was like new to like a first-person type shooter. Like a lot of games copied the hero shooter aspect because of Overwatch. Like Overwatch
Bleeding Edge
impactful.
didn't really work out too well.
Yeah, a lot of people copied it, but it wasn't as
but was Overwatch the first hero shooter though?
Yes.
When I look at Overwatch, I think of like Overwatch brought that type of League of Legends and all that stuff, that hero aspect towards a shooter. You know what I mean? So I feel like personally, it's more than just them being Blizzard. I feel like, yo, that game was super impactful because if you look at Call of Duty, if you look at other shooters, they right after that they based, you know, we're gonna do a hero shooter, or we're gonna have these specialists or whatever they call them now. You know what I mean? So even now,
I thought Gigantic was there first, but they just. I thought Gigantic was there first, but they just didn't have the.
They didn't have the. I mean, Gigantic was more like a
big label.
Right. They didn't.
Right. Yeah. I thought
and
there were
remember, Battleborn tried. They tried to be there.
Yeah, I thought there were other games.
Yeah,
that did it before Blizzard, but Blizzard's Blizzard, and look,
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're overrated or anything. I played Overwatch for like 8 or 9 months straight, and I enjoyed my time with it. It's a quality game because Blizzard. This is before Blizzard got Activisioned, and stopped like actually making sure that games released at the level of quality that they personally had their personal level at, instead of just releasing it because you try and make some money. But like, it was a quality game. All that saying, was it really like Game of the Year material like that? Maybe that's a personal preference. I don't think it was. But when it comes to Keeley's Game of the Year awards, they go back to what we talk about. Like, there've been no racers that have been nominated, and I just don't think that that's going to change this year.
Yeah,
me personally,
go ahead.
Comes to
go ahead, Bart. Go ahead.
Forza Horizon 5, I think it's a great game. I haven't played it, but I'm just looking at it from a critical perspective.
Mm-hmm.
But I go back to the whole, what impacts has the series evolved. When I look at the games that been nominated for Game of the Year, you know what I mean, there's a huge impact that goes on with it. You know what I mean? And I don't think Forza Horizon has that. I'm not slighting it.
Yeah, I know.
I just feel like it's the same thing. You know what I mean? If it didn't get it in 4, if it didn't get it in 3, like I agree with Slow Mo, I don't expect to see it in 5. And I'm not
exactly.
If it's there, it's there. But I'm not expecting it. But I do expect it to probably win like a best racer / sports award though.
Yeah, it's guaranteed to win that.
Could it?
That's a guarantee. Yeah.
So Barry, let me ask you a question though. Could it be that it didn't get it in 4 just because that was a stacked year? And so maybe this year, there were a lot of delays. Does it get in this year just by kind of happenstance?
I think this year was as stacked as a year like 2018, and Forza Horizon, I think 4 was like 92. I think right now it's 91 or 92 as well.
I think it went up to
92 for both today. Now. They're both 92.
Yeah, I'm not. Listen, I promise you, I'm not knocking the game, yo. I just look at it from an outside looking in. What has evolved within 3 years of the game, and I don't see an involvement of the game where I don't feel like, people are playing it, but it's not an impactful type of game where it's just like, oh, this is game changing. That's why I feel when I look at Game of the Year, and this is a me thing, this is a personal thing. I'm looking at impact. Like, when God of War won it, that was the talk of the town for how many months? People still talking about God of War. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like Forza Horizon 5, you're gonna have those type of conversations in the next month because Halo about to drop. There's no way nobody gonna talk about no Halo Forza Horizon 5. You know what I mean?
That's basically what I was saying like a moment ago. I was like, typically a lot of times game of the years have conversations around them. The funny thing, like with Hades last year, is I remember people like, why the hell is this game nominated so many times? And then all of a sudden this year, when that game hit Game Pass, they're like, oh shit, okay.
Eric, I know exactly who you talking about, and we just gonna keep it moving. But continue, sir. Continue.
So, but no, I mean, I think also people have a boss fight in Jeff Keighley. They've created a boss fight in him.
Did you say a boss fight?
Like,
oh my god.
Whereas like every year they have
must defeat Keighley,
and in particular is like from like a lot of the Xbox community, they have a boss fight with Keighley, whereas like they think he's holding out on anything from the Xbox side that should be nominated.
But the thing is, Keighley he has nothing to do with the voting.
Right.
Wait, but you know what's funny? You mentioned boss fight. You remember when Death Stranding was nominated? There was all these QAnon type conspiracy theories out there about the Jeff Keighley show.
Yeah.
So
it's funny. What's funny with that too? If I can keep
Death Stranding, do you guys feel like it deserves to be there?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
I do.
Yeah.
You never
No.
played the game, Slomo.
I played the game. I streamed the game. Enrique is garbage.
How long did you play for it?
I played it for three excruciating hours.
You gotta play it longer than that.
You gotta play it longer.
I need to see
This is what I'm talking about.
I need to see your gamer
play the
tag,
game, and people
You
like,
know what? Hey, I want that PSN ID right now, Slomo.
You gotta play it for 20 hours. You got to do this part here.
I didn't say any of that. I said that I can understand why some people it doesn't jive with some people. There are parts of the game that drag out, but I think that's one of the best games I played in that past generation.
Like what Barry described about like a game impacting you or impacting the like genre, like that game did that for me. Death Stranding did.
I got an impact from Death Stranding. It was a cure of my insomnia. That's the impact it gave me. Okay.
Like I personally didn't like Death Stranding like that, but that game did have an overall impact in the community as far as people was talking about it. People doing spoiler casts.
But are you supposed to be on my side here, man? Come on now.
No, I'm with you as far as
the story in that game is very well done.
The game is good. I don't really think the game is as good. I got up to like chapter 6 in the game, and I was like, what?
You got to play it, Bar. You got to play it more, man.
There was impact when it came to that game.
Some deep stuff there. Yeah.
Yes, because Die Hard, man, is real deep.
Is that
you know what? Because you haven't played it.
When you
played it, Enrique.
You haven't played it.
All right, check my Steam profile.
That's like saying I went to McDonald's.
Okay, wait a minute. So I haven't played it, but I did play it. What you're saying is that I haven't played it long enough.
You haven't played it long enough
to make it good. So if I beat the game and say it's garbage, what are we gonna say now? Well, you didn't understand it.
No, I would say
Kojima genius.
No, I would say, you know what? Then yeah, you can make that assessment because you played the whole game. You got the gist of the story. You saw the character development.
I don't need to beat a game to say the game sucks.
Oh my god.
Yeah, somebody asked if the impact of Death Stranding was positive on a critical perspective. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
That's who votes Game of the Year. For you personally, it might not be, but we're talking about like critical and these Game of the Year shows. That's all due to these critics and these journalists. Yeah, it was impactful to them. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say it's one of the even though people call it a walking sim, there was other elements of that game that weren't highlighted. We had Gaming IQ or Gamer IQ on. He said the same thing. Like that game wasn't marketed in a way that exhibited some of these strengths that that game had. Like there's some good stealth mechanics there, right? There's other aspects of that game that aren't just walking around with a backpack on. There's some great dialogue. We always talk about that scene with Die Hard Man, right? Like that was one of the best scenes I've seen in gaming. But not just that, the story. Like you have to pay attention because there's some really interesting plot twists in that game that make you say, "Holy shit! Wow, I didn't see that coming, or I wasn't expecting that." So it was a really good game. I thought, and then the world building, with that social interaction, I thought that was really cool. Like I've never experienced anything like that from a gaming perspective where I wanted to help other people out. And I know this sounds very simple, but like when you are isolating the game, you get that sense of isolation, and you know other people are going to be trekking along the same path that you're on. You do things like leave ladders behind. I know that sounds very simple, but I don't know. There's something rewarding about that, I guess. At least for me, there was. So that's just my 2 cents about the game. But
I will give it one positive. It's a beautiful looking game. It's probably the best looking game on PC right now.
It really is.
I think it's stunning.
It's visually extremely, extremely beautiful.
I heard it's really good on PS5 as well.
And that's it.
Yeah,
that's all it gets.
Gentlemen, let me grab some super chats here. X Abbott with the $5 super chat says Phil tweet with 4.5 million players so far. Forza Horizon 5 is the largest launch day for Xbox Game Studios game. Peak concurrent is 3 times higher than Forza Horizon 4. So he's saying bigger than Halo. Okay. But then again, he says Xbox Game Studios, but is that like, are they not counting previous? Because it wasn't Xbox Game Studios. It was Microsoft Studios, right? So like, is there some PR?
I really only think he's talking about day one. I think overall, obviously,
because it launched
more
day.
Sales.
Yeah, so it's launch day, which it's like it's a great achievement, but then also it's not really talking about all the extra context that comes with that. Gaming grows every year, and gaming continues to grow. There are new gamers that come in. So like literally, what was excellent 5 years ago is just okay now, as far as launch day numbers and sales and stuff like that. It's great. And it's I'm not like knocking the success of how Forza Horizon 5 has been received, but it's almost kind of like when you see like people say, oh, with X game is now the highest selling game in that franchise, and it's just like, well, of course it is. Gaming keeps growing.
Yeah,
it's It's not knocking that it's a quality, and that is not a quality game. But if it's a quality game and gaming keeps growing, more people are going to buy it. By default, it's going to do more than anything else.
Yeah.
So.
Inflation brought to you by slow-mo backslap.
When a lot of these companies use the whole player count, it's very disingenuous because you're not really getting any detail. Like, okay, what are the players are on Game Pass? Or what are the players that bought it? That's what I look for. I look for detail, but I don't like when PlayStation do it. I don't like when Xbox do it. I can give a fuck about the players. What did that game sell? That's what I want to know.
Right. Because that also includes somebody who logged in, sat there for like 10 minutes, like, I'm out.
Somebody's on my, I got a game share partner. Oh, he got the game too.
Right.
That's another, you know what I mean? I get why they're doing it, but
it sounds good.
Me personally, I don't like when the company.
It doesn't give you the entire
that launch day number included me attempting to play the game on PC and not being able to.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's a great point. Yeah.
My gamer tag, like I became one of the numbers of people who logged into the game. I never got past the Bronco going out of the plane. So
he said I got stuck at the drop. That's funny. I don't know why I'm laughing. I just think it's funny.
But I'm a part of that number, so it's just
that's true, man. Let me grab B Staples here. B Staples a $2 super chat says Xbox best studio is id Software or Arcade. Okay,
they're up there. They're up there for certain.
Yeah, we got hold on a sec here. I'm scrolling down. I'm catching up with these super chats here. B Staples again. Forza Horizon 4 went up against 5 giants: God of War, Red Dead Redemption 2, Spider-Man, Monster Hunter World, and Smash Ultimate. Forza Horizon 5 has much easier competition, no giants in 2021. Well, it launched up against, there's that third-party giant, Call of Duty. So,
but come on.
What?
I would have chose Forza Horizon 4 over Smash. That was like over a year old when they put Smash in there. And then I think Assassin's Creed Odyssey was in there too.
I think so. I was
deserve to be in there, sir.
Yeah. B Staples with the $5 super chat says if Forza Horizon 5 isn't a Game of the Year contender, then you'll have to name the 6 games that will get nominated because I don't see 6 games better than Forza Horizon 5 in 2021. I could name some games that I think are better than Forza Horizon 5, but to each his own. B Staples.
He said 6 though.
6. Okay, I can name 6. Yeah, I mean that's
Can you really name 6?
Yeah, I would say Let's
6
see
games.
here.
Do it right now.
Hold on, let me see.
I really want to know.
I gotta
this.
get a pen and pad here. Let's see.
Look at him. Look at him. Struggling.
No, I would say Returnal, Ratchet and Clank, Guardians of the Galaxy. God, what else? I feel like
Resident Evil 8.
Resident Evil.
I'm trying to help you out.
Death.
I haven't played enough
what's
of
it called?
Forza Horizon 5 yet, but I'm gonna throw Metroid Dread in there.
Yeah, I would say Metroid Dread, Death's Door. I mean, yeah, I 7.
Death's Door. It takes
Death's
2.
Door,
Tales of Arise.
Psychonauts 2. Yeah.
Tales of Arise, yeah.
Psychonauts 2.
Psychonauts
Yeah, a
2.
lot of them
Yeah.
are like-
Tales of Arise, man. Yeah.
So we are all.
Hold on a minute though.
So basically, what we're saying is those games are better than Forza.
I mean,
That's subjective.
That's
Like,
subjective.
Well, no,
That's
I'm
subjective.
saying
but he's making
no,
the
I'm saying
statement
your
that better than
opinion.
Forza.
No, I'm saying your opinion. All those games you guys listed are better than Forza. I'm just saying
In my
your
opinion,
opinion.
yes. In my
Okay.
opinion, yes.
So
I would agree.
So
with that.
to that, I would say, are they so far ahead of Forza that Forza couldn't beat out any one or two of those?
No, not for me, because I'll tell you right now, like, again, and this goes back to what I was saying before, Forza Horizon 5 hits all the notes that I expect a Forza Horizon 5 to hit, or for a Forza Horizon game to hit. I expect, because I know what's already going to be, and I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy my time with it, but it's not going to, I don't think it's going to do anything radically new that's going to, like, make me go, oh, okay. Like, I played impactfully, like, I think Psychonauts 2 was definitely more impactful to me. Death's Door was more impactful to me as a game that I played. I like Resident Evil Village a lot when I first played it, but there's games I played now that I like better than that one, but I can see that being in there too. But
Fun fact.
I go into Forza Horizon 5, I'm falling out of the airplane, I'm pulling up at the festival.
Psychonauts 2 is going to be nominated before Forza Horizon 5 for Game of the Year.
I agree. I agree with that. Yep.
I would disagree with that.
Fun fact. The
Psychonauts
actual
was
best
fantastic.
game I played this year is God of War 2018, because I played it for the first time this year with the PS5 patch.
Never
Still
too late to
holds
get
up.
that greatness in.
Yeah, I mean, Rodimus says,
my game of last generation right there, bro.
yeah, Rodimus says,
And I'm going to
Forza-
play it again in February.
Yeah, Rodimus says Forza
January,
Horizon
my
5
bad,
is rated
January.
higher than all those games that we listed.
That doesn't mean.
So what is it again? So we're
Yeah,
gonna
it doesn't
go,
mean anything.
Wait. See, he went left on that, because we're gonna go to the rating. The rating automatically jumps up what experience somebody had better than another.
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of high rated games. I'm like, I'm not playing that.
And that doesn't mean that you're going to win too, because Sekiro wasn't the highest rated game when it won, but it won.
And
Yeah,
none
go
of us
ahead,
thought Sekiro would win because we thought it was niche.
Yeah, go ahead, B.
Right.
You
Yeah,
gonna say something?
and then you got the 2 highest reviews on Metacritic from Xbox Hub and Windows Central. Come on, man.
Yeah, go ahead, B. You were gonna say something?
And I'm sorry, go ahead, B.
I'll go ahead.
And wasn't like
We
Spider-Man
can't
wasn't
say
that like
it.
highly rated, but Spider-Man didn't win a game of the year, right?
Because Spider-Man went up against God of War, though.
God of War.
And Red Dead.
But I'm saying it was still highly rated. So
God,
we're
Red
saying
Dead
it's
was so
not
good.
Was it
just
rated higher
because
than
something
God of
gets a
War,
high
though?
rating doesn't mean that it makes it better than another game to somebody.
And it doesn't mean that it can't win Game of the Year either. And you're talking about, like, if you look at like Psychonauts 2, to Rodimus' example, like we're arguing over like a 0.4 of a percentage point. Like that's, I mean, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like that's, yeah.
Psychonauts 2 actually evolved the series. Like they brought new things to the series. Like really and truly, what is new in Forza Horizon 5 from 4? Answer that. The people that play the game.
Outposts.
It's
That's
been
it.
The cars.
The outpost, the cars.
cars.
It's a larger map for sure. The map's much bigger, I think, than 4.
But to
it's the
Barry's
same formula.
point, like when you
But it's
have those games like that, they're almost semi-annual releases.
Yeah, it's not anything.
You're going to
different,
get, like in Madden, you get new players. That's what's different from the previous year of Madden or 2K. You get the new rookies in and changing of rosters, but is the
I think B-Money would
gameplay
disagree with you on that,
drastically
sir.
different?
The gameplay
not-
was drastically different the past 3 years, sir. In 2 years.
I forgot. I
will
forgot
argue
who
that.
I was talking to. Oh, my
will
bad.
argue
My
that.
bad.
Oh, you thought you were just gonna let that slide by?
And when it's when you say like when you get like an Assassin's Creed nominated, you kind of go in the back of your head. It's probably why it's not going to win, because while it was like people bought it and paid for it and it was highly rated or whatever, ultimately it doesn't do anything different than what the first one did or the one ahead of it.
Right. And
that typically doesn't get you a game of the year award.
Yeah, and there are other games that, like, for take Odyssey for example, there were other games that game was going up against that also didn't really like push the medium forward, but they were higher quality games. So it's like if you're only claim to fame to be here is that you're a high quality game, but that's not enough. Like, because someone else could have like a high.
We got a spam thing in there, Slow-Mo. You see that?
I got him. You may want to turn on slow mode, because if I've seen when that gets started, it can become an issue, and they'll like just keep switching to a different spam bot. So yeah. Anyway, what I was. Go ahead, man.
Just real quick. How long? And I do believe that if they asked me this on Boom's show on Monday, and I said it's even though it's not for me, I think that Returnal was going to end up winning, and it'll be like an upset win. I see that happening.
I could see that.
That I don't agree with that though. I'm just saying I could see it happening. But how long were people talking about Returnal?
I think for a little while, actually.
I think for a little while, but I think
it was definitely a part of the overall gaming community conversation for a number of different reasons. The difficulty,
good and bad.
For good and bad, but the level of difficulty, some of the well, this is the reason why I think it won't win, is that the people voting for it weren't exactly the biggest fans of it. So, I mean, with the people voting for Game of the Year, it weren't exactly the biggest fans of it. You know how gaming media is, right? So, like, some of the talk when that game was out was the overall conversation and the overall mood of the game from gaming media due to its difficulty. You had people talking about, like, there need to be easy modes in games. That always gets cropped up when like a popular difficult game comes out. I thought it was a part of the conversation for at least like a month and a half.
Is that long enough?
I think Returnal's going to get snubbed. I think something like RE8 or like a game like Psychonauts 2 is probably going to get Game of the Year.
I think, I agree with Bart. I actually think Village. I've been thinking Village was going to win. And I didn't play Village because I don't play RE, but I think it's going to win just because it's like, this is not a big year for AAA games. Like, there isn't any slam dunk, oh my God, this game is definitely the game, like, a lot of people's game of the year kind of game. But RE Village was well received. Capcom has a great reputation. And I think for what it did for the Resident Evil franchise was good. And out of the other potential nominees, it's probably going to be the most popular game up there.
So, if BRAP, is it possible before the end of this show we can all give our prediction of what we think is going to win? This doesn't mean what you want to win, but what you think will win, cynically. So, Bari says maybe Psychonauts. I say Returnal, even though I vowed never to play that game until they add save points. But that's just me.
I mean, we could do that now. We already started talking about it. I reiterate that I said Village, so I think Village will win. But go ahead. My bad, Enrique.
No, I was going to say, Rodimus said that he doesn't see an 83 to 88 one ever win over a 90 plus rated game. I don't think that's true. I think Dragon Age was like an 85. One of the Dragon Age Inquisition, I think, was an 85 Metacritic, and won Game of the Year in like 2014. I think over some other highly rated games. So I don't think that's not the indicator I think to go by, is my point. I think that's only one thing.
Here's an interesting question, BRAP.
Yeah.
Do you think? I'll ask the rest of the panel also. Do you think that Forza in the reviews was graded on a racing curve or just an all-around curve when they gave it, or no curve? With that 92 score, is it 92 for a racer or is it just 92 for a game?
I'm sorry, you said 92 for a racer?
Yeah, I'm saying, was it graded on a racing curve, or is it just a 92 game overall? Meaning, like, did it score higher just because it's doing the best in that genre or as a game
I think it's
as
probably.
a whole?
I think it's because it's doing the best in that genre. I mean, obviously people are going to compare it to previous Horizons and other games. There's other like Horizon type games like certain aspects like Dirt 2. Maybe you could kind of compare that, or Project Cars 2 would be another one. But it's probably being compared to other games in the genre. It's probably and I could be wrong, but I think that's probably what they're comparing it to.
Yeah, man. When you look at the other racers that would be compared to what Forza Horizon is doing, it would mostly just be like Dirt. Project Cars is more on the simulation side. Same thing with like Grid Sport and stuff like that. So like those games are lean heavily on the simulation side, where this is more of like an arcade racer. You know what I mean? So when you kind of compare it that way, you know,
maybe
this
like
is
Need
the
for
best
Speed.
this is the best arcade racer. You know what I mean? Like EA has kind of put Need for Speed on the back burner. We'll see what they do, you know, after acquiring Codemasters. But when you look at the landscape of arcade racers, this is the best one by far.
Yeah, that's a great point. Gentlemen, real quick, I do want to pivot because it's past 11 o'clock here, and I do want to get to this last topic because we are at the year anniversary now of these next generation or current generation consoles. There were next generation before release last November, but I can't believe it's been a year. It's going to be a year. I think it's a year today that the Series X release, and on Friday will be the 12th will be a year that the PlayStation 5 released during we're still in the pandemic, but during this global pandemic, and both consoles have sold pretty well. But I wanted to kind of just talk about which consoles had what it's been like for both consoles year one, and then which consoles had the better year one launch window. And I want to go to you, Barry, because you, sir, you think that there's only one current gen or next gen console, and that is the PlayStation 5. Do I have that correct? Now, why do you Why do you think that, Barry?
Because when it comes to like a next gen console, you're doing things different than your prior console have done. I feel like when it comes to the Series X, currently right now, they're not doing anything different than like a One X has done. That's more frames and better resolution. You know what I mean? There's nothing really in game that they're doing differently for what I'm seeing currently right now. But when you compare it to something like a PlayStation, even when it comes to these multiplats, you're getting a different experience that's due to the fact of what the console hardware can do, the controller. You know what I mean? There's a different experience going on. So you're either going to be more immersed in the game, or you know, it's further evolving the PlayStation console. You know what I mean? I feel like when it comes to the Xbox, yeah, it's a beast of a console. It's a very powerful kit there, but they're just doing more of the same. There's more resolution and more frames. So I currently, you know, this is people are going to take it however they want to take it. I feel like there's only one next gen console available right now. That's the PlayStation 5. And that's just what it is. And the first year has been great. They've been offering a lot of great games that I've been playing. You know, you have from Demon Souls, Spider-Man, Monster Rise, Sackboy, Astrobot, Returnal, Destruction All-Stars. People say they claim they didn't like that game, but they didn't play it. Guilty Gear, Final Fantasy, Intermission. The Neo collection has been, you know, up for PlayStation 5. You know, Ghost of Tsushima new DLC, Kena, Ratchet and Clank, even a game from Microsoft, Deathloop. You know what I mean? It's just a different experience that you're getting, especially when it comes to the controller and what the PlayStation 5, the hardware can do. And that's just my opinion. So yeah, first year I gave PlayStation a 9 out of 10. I feel like when it comes to certain things, you know, UI wise, you know, they can definitely fix it, but a lot of the main issues or the main things that people want, they have done, especially when it comes to the SSD bay being opened up. And I think they had a great year. They had a lot of games, and that's just me listing off, you know, games from the top of my head. There's probably more that have been played for the PlayStation. Let's look at Call of Duty, big franchise, much different experience than you will get on the other platform that you can get the same experience on the previous generation. That's the shooting a gun in Call of Duty is a much different experience than you will ever get in any other console. So yeah, that's my opinion. 9 out of 10, and the only next gen console available right now.
Okay.
So, Barry, according to Spaces, Barry, the real next generation kicked off Tuesday. Like all none of those games that came prior mattered until Tuesday. That's when it's really about to jump off now.
PlayStation had a horrible year. November and December counts.
Yeah,
even
games don't release all year anymore.
Oh my God, it's funny, man. All right. Barry, I gotta say, I agree with you with two things. I mean, the PlayStation 5 for me feels more of a next gen console per se because of like people could downplay haptic feedback, 3D audio, things like that. But I could just using those things and experiencing haptic feedback, like you mentioned, Call of Duty, and even haptic feedback on Ghost of Tsushima when you're pulling back on that bow, just different. It just adds to a level of immersion that you can't experience on previous generations.
Yo,
I agree with you.
BRAP,
that yeah,
I can even give you a future perspective. They're evolving VR with a new VR headset. You're not getting any other experience like that on a console. You know what I mean? And the other games there's more games coming down the pipeline. That we're seeing, the things that PlayStation has touted throughout their promotion of the PlayStation 5, they were actually doing day one. You know what I mean? There's a lot of, listen, I know people's going to come out, oh, J-Bar, you're a pony, you're trying to, slant play Xbox. But a lot of things that Xbox was touting before these consoles came out, they're not even doing. You know what I mean? These are the people that was touting ray tracing. What? You know what I mean? Like it's like, yo, what have you been doing throughout the years? Like you haven't really been doing anything that you really been promoting. It's PlayStation that really and truly has been pushing these next gen things that people want forward. And the one thing I give Xbox, like when it comes to the frames, they definitely prioritize for that. They been updating a lot of their older games like 120, which I think is really nice and stuff like that. A lot of the 60 frames and all that stuff, which is cool, but that's just offering more frames, more resolution. It's not really changing the game in a way like Ratchet and Clank. You know what I mean? As much as people want to downplay the SSD, that fundamentally changed how that game is developed with the PlayStation 5. You're not going to get that stuff on Xbox. And people can get mad. They can call it cap all they want, but prove me wrong.
I mean, look, I wouldn't say like feature sets like that. I mean, that's not, I hate that word cap. I think it's so dumb. Those are like feature sets like that aren't like, they're part of the thing that distinguishes that are new to, what we had previous generations, you know what I'm saying? So like, the haptic feedback, 3D audio, I see people saying, next gen consoles, no variable refresh rate, please. I mean, those are nice features, but honestly, that's not adding a level of immersion to my gaming experience or providing me something I haven't experienced before, right?
I mean, but that said, you guys are coming, and I say you guys as a PC gamer because you guys were sitting around here talking about 30 frames per second was just fine 2 years ago.
Sure was. Please.
And now you got 60 frames per second minimum across the board. I think that's probably the biggest next gen thing that you guys have is frame rates. Because that crap y'all was playing on before was abysmal.
I don't mind 30 frames as long as it's not dipping.
Oh no.
I can't co-sign that.
I heard you in a freaking podcast, Barry said, man, I can't do this 30 frames per second stuff no more.
No, that's you never heard me say that. I can guarantee.
Maybe when somebody was at a party with y'all there, but okay, I ain't gonna hold you to
I've
it.
never said. I've always said I never had an issue with 30 frames as long as that shit is stable. I can play a game in 30 frames. A lot of the games that came out on PS5, I've played in the quality mode before I played in the performance mode. So
No,
I don't have an issue with it.
I
The
can't
thing is,
co-sign
like
that.
I always tell people, a lot of people want frames because you get a smoother experience. I'm not saying that 60 isn't better than 30. That's not what I'm saying. I think 60 frames should be the
bare
minimum
minimum.
Standard.
Yeah,
the minimum.
it should be the standard. But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna not play a game that I want to play if the game's in 30 frames. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
But I feel like 60 frames is not a next gen thing because I've experienced that already. You know what I mean? I've experienced that on consoles. I play a lot of games in 60 frames when it comes to fighting games and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Maybe a lot of people don't play games like 60
I'm
frames.
just talking about.
It was in last gen. It was a struggle to maintain 60 due to the trash CPUs that those APUs had in the PS4 and the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Now, like you get the option. For example, we talked about Forza Horizon 5. That one on Xbox Series X has a 30 frame per second mode and a quality mode. But like to play a racer at 30 frames per second, I would just rather not play it. Period. Maybe and this is all personal preference stuff. That's your preference, Barry. This is mine. But I feel like I've seen so many people who at one point, say 2 years ago, was just like, yo, frames is overrated. I'm about that 4K. I'm about this, like a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, I remember it was 4K HDR. I'm like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Like, give me 60,
your 4K is overrated, man. You don't need that 4K. I was always
wanting the frame rate. Give me the frame rate.
60 frames.
Yeah, and I see a lot of those people change their tune now.
Stable frames. Like 60 frames, like I said, I would never debate anybody as far as what is better. I'm just saying, like, majority of gamers, they really don't give a fuck about that shit. They really want the 4K, the glitz and the glamour. You know what I mean? But now that we have the options and we actually getting stable frames, it's not about not having 60 frames. It's just the frame rate is more stable now with this generation. That's why I don't look at it as like, it's better next gen, but it's not like a next gen thing to me because I've always experienced 60 frames.
You've always experienced it, yeah. And there's been 60 frames per 60 FPS games prior to the PS4, Xbox One generation. So that's not necessarily new per se. And then if you've been on PC, like you've experienced that a lot.
Forever.
Right?
Forever since.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny, like we used to joke around before the Series X launch that we were already enjoying the Series X when me and Slimmo just got our 2070. So, but I do agree with you, Barry. I feel like for me at least, the PlayStation 5 has been more of a next gen experience for me. They've had specific content games designed around using specific next gen feature sets like the haptic feedback, the 3D audio, things like that. Things that for me I thought were pretty cool implementations, like things that I just didn't experience last generation that had a different level of immersion to the gaming experience, which I thought was really cool because I think outside of graphics we're hitting a point diminishing returns. So I think anything people can do, whether it's Nintendo, Sony, or Microsoft, to enhance that experience and how we play games, and not just slapping on like HDR stuff like that. I'm talking about like things that create a higher level of immersion, things that you've never felt gaming. That's the kind of stuff I'm looking forward to. That's actually one of the reasons why I like VR, but that's just my 2 cents.
Brap, go ahead, man.
Brap,
before you go to Everborn, can I sting the chat real quick?
Go ahead.
Can I put a lisp on it real quick?
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Even when it comes to the PlayStation 5, these third party games are running better. The performance are better on the PlayStation 5. A lot of people like to talk about these 120 frames, this and that with the Xbox Series X. You're not even getting 120 frames with the Xbox Series X. I'm sorry.
Oh.
You know what I mean? We go to your favorite people, your favorite friends, Xbox gamers, Digital Foundry. You know what I mean? I remember in the beginning of the PlayStation 5, they were like, it seems like there's a bug going on with the Xbox Series X. I don't know why. Is this PlayStation 5 is just running it better? Yeah, you know why? It's the only next gen console available. I'm gone. My bad.
All right, Jay Barry. Oh my God! All right, let's go to. Oh yes, you rang, Forte.
Oh, I said Jesus Christ. That's all.
Yeah, never mind. Everborn, what are your thoughts, sir? Everborn left. Is he there?
No, I'm here. I was on mute. I'm sorry. I was on mute.
Everborn, what are your thoughts? And don't give me flight simulator, man. But go ahead. What are your thoughts?
That's one of the things I'm going to mention, but it's fine. No, I think anyone telling you that the PS5 didn't have a phenomenal launch first year is not being genuine, in my opinion, anyway. Right. That said, I do think when we look at the launch year holistically, and I'm not just talking about November and December for the Xbox, I think all in all they've done very well. I know we kind of try to limit conversations to like first party, and we can do that, but I want to talk about what we've gotten in the last 12 months on the Series X. And yes, a lot of these were also available on the Xbox One, but were, enhanced for the Series X. So first party from Xbox, we've gotten Gears Tactics. A lot of people like that game. Not my thing, but 82 Metacritic. We got Hive Busters, very good DLC, but Metacritic rated it, also 82. We got Flight Sim, which was a very, it's a showpiece sort of to show off the technical capabilities of the Series X, 90 rated. I still go into it every time.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I said 30 frames, but my bad.
I hear you. I got the CX, so I got the VRS or whatever they call it. I don't know. But anyway.
so you got the 45 frames.
Yeah. Hey, man. Hey.
He said 45 frames.
No, but that's what it really was. Look, it wasn't Everborn, but there was a lot of guys out here. I ain't going to say no names. Y'all know exactly who I'm talking about.
You'll never catch Everborn talking about these tech stuff on the software engineer.
That VRR had people thinking they were seeing 120 frames, knowing damn well their eyes wasn't looking at 120 frames per second. And they
saw that too. I saw people saying that. But
I'm like, bro, come on now. You not outperforming a 3090 on that game. Stop it.
So to continue down that point. So like I said, Hive Busters, Gears Tactics, both 82. Flight Sim, sort of tech showpiece, 90, right? Then there was Psychonauts, 87, I think. Okay. Now we have Forza, and we will get Halo. Everything that Microsoft's first party has released this year, the lowest score was an 82, and we've gone up to a 92. And the variety has been all over the place. And that's before we get to 12 Minutes and The Ascent and Death's Door, which I know is coming to the PlayStation, I think, later this month. But all in all, I think that they're, if you are into variety, I think there's been something for almost everyone, unless you're Lord Cognito, who needs to just one.
Everborn, but you could make that argument, I think, for both consoles, really.
But I didn't say anything bad about Sony, right?
No, I'm just saying, I'm just saying you could make that argument for both consoles. Like, I think the one thing they've both done well is that they've offered a lot of variety the first year.
The reason I'm pointing this out is that Sony's first party was never in question. Microsoft's was, and I'm pointing out that they have the strides that they have been making in terms of high quality releases. I think those strides should be acknowledged. And I know there's memes going around about, whatever, no games or whatever, but I'm highlighting the because everybody can get the third parties, the multiplats, but I'm highlighting the exclusives there and the quality level of them. And year one has had a lot of interesting high quality games for the Xbox. So I'm actually very happy to top the year off with Halo, but I think it's been a great year when you step back and look at all the different experiences we've gotten, right? Whether it's first party or just exclusive. Again, and this takes nothing away from the greatness that is PS5, but I do want to give credit where credit is due on on the Xbox side. So and it, like I said, Hive Busters, Death's Door, Psychonauts 2, now Forza Horizon, Flight Sim, Ascent, 12 minutes. So all those things, and like I said, also Gears Tactics. I just can't speak to Gears Tactics. I know a lot of people liked it, but I didn't play it because I'm not really into the RTS.
It was cool. It was cool. It wasn't the best in the XCOM genre, but it was all right.
Right, but it was received well critically. Like I said, I think it was an 82. So that idea that Microsoft first party could do that when a lot of their development practices have been in question. Oh, another great thing that they did, and I can speak to this: A Pirate's Life in Sea of Thieves. I played Sea of Thieves when it was in beta and there was nothing to do, and I never played it again.
Mm-hmm.
But when they did the Jack Sparrow thing, it's a really fun thing, and there's a ton of things to do in there. So between all of that, I think they are righting the ship, and I think they've had a great year so far based on the titles that I mentioned.
Okay. B Money, I want to go to you, man. What are your thoughts, man? Year one.
Oh, Artful Escape. Sorry. Somebody in the chat mentioned that. Yes. Artful Escape. I only played that for like 10 minutes, so I didn't mention it, but a lot of people really like that, but I can't speak to it personally because I don't have enough time in it yet.
B, you there, man? What are your thoughts, man?
Yeah. I think both had a pretty good first year.
Yep.
Everything that Microsoft kind of did with Game Pass is, but kind of kept it in a conversation the entire year.
Absolutely.
I mean, because without that, if we just kind of based it on, first party releases and, the impact of those games or whatever, there wouldn't really be much to talk about until we got to this point where, everybody's gloating about Forza and Halo's right around the corner. So I think, Microsoft did the right thing to, support its platform. They had a lot of exclusive, second party and third party games, released on the platform, and bolstered the Game Pass subscription. They're over 20 million subs now. So that was really important for them, and kind of led them to having a great year. And then, same thing with PlayStation, Insomniac, put the cape on, put the mask on, open up the chest, and it was S on that boy, and they came and saved the day. And they had Demon Souls and Returnal. PlayStation first party was really great. And kind of like what they've always done. Had great games at the beginning of the year, and it's kind of tapered off towards the end of the year. But they have great third party support. The controller was a big talking point when the console released, and it still is today. All the innovations that came with the controller, and just the console itself. What PlayStation is going to do as far as just changing the whole landscape of SSD drives and things like that it's amazing, man, because consoles are way more popular as far as people getting into them, the ease of use and things like that, as far as people getting into PC or whatever. So what they've done and the way they're going to change that landscape and make it more competitive, make it easier for us to get extended memory and things like that was pretty important. So all in all, I think both of them had a great year. If I had to choose between one, it would probably be PlayStation 5 for me. That's mostly where I play my console gaming at now. Everything else is on PC. So it had a bigger impact. It made me pick it up day one. I'll continue to play there as long as they support it with great games.
Yeah, that's a great point. B, I think one thing I took from what you just said, I think from a year one perspective, I think Microsoft clearly has done a much better job year one than going back to the Xbox One, in my opinion. I think Game Pass has really,
for sure,
really helped them a lot. I think both these consoles, because I think about the PlayStation 5, to me, this is the best year one launch that I remember of a PlayStation console. in terms
we
of
used to have to wait
yeah.
3 years before like PlayStation kind of got it in gear. And they started year 1, and based on the roadmap that they have now, it looks like year 2 is going to be pretty good. And they kind of announced Wolverine early, so possibly year 3 we at least know something is coming there. And they've acquired more studios, which is something that more people, most people just wouldn't think that they would do until they were kind of forced to. And I think they have reevaluated the landscape and that they had to kind of make some changes and widen their net a little bit, and that pushed them to PC and things like that. So I think it's they made a lot of changes over at PlayStation over the last 2 or 3 years, and I think it's for the better of gaming as a whole.
Yeah, no, I agree, B. I think and speaking of Sony, we talk about this a lot in the show, man. I mean, we talk like with Jim Ryan. I mean, they are going to be very aggressive with bringing content to that platform.
Yes,
you would agree with that, B, right?
Yeah, they got a lot more money than people think they do. That's just chilling, and they're primed to make more acquisitions. They're primed to spend money on big third party games to lock them off of other platforms for years at a time. So they are serious about taking that platform to the next level. So people who are kind of sleeping on them or think they're kind of out of the game because of Microsoft momentum, I would highly advise that you don't sleep.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And that is coming from B knowing shit 101.
Yes, this is true. That's I was kind of trying to get him to say something because B don't be surprised. The one thing that I think they're going to do, Mooch says this on the show, nostalgia is a hell of a drug. Don't be surprised to see them bring back story franchises that are going to get more modern takes where people are going to be like, holy shit. Would you agree with that, B?
I would agree.
And that's a confirmation right there. We're getting a remake of some older PlayStation title coming out. Probably get it announced pretty soon. I know B not going to give us the a ballpark or whatever, but
I would say within the next 8 weeks or so.
But then the next 8 weeks.
8 weeks, that puts us into December.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, actually, no. Is it? Yeah, like late December. Yeah, late December. Yeah. Okay. All right. B, man. B. What'd you say? BB no shit 101. That's great, slow-mo.
No shit 101, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna get to EJ.
It would make sense if they did that for the Video Game Awards, if you think about it. If it's going to be within the next 2 months, which is next 8 weeks, which is like the end of the year, like the biggest opportunity to have the most eyes on it would be Video Game Awards.
Yeah, no, absolutely. E, what are your thoughts, man? What do you think year one for both consoles, man?
Let's see. I know we're kind of running late, so I'll keep it short. I kind of co-sign pretty much what B was saying. I don't regret picking up either one of my consoles. And I actually remember kind of saying that I wasn't gonna drop on another Xbox console until they had some games that actually showed why they were touting that they were the most powerful. And then I think I kind of remember Matt Booty and Phil kind of slowing down on the most powerful talk, just kind of focusing more on the Game Pass side. I'm just joking, but anyway, no, I think Game Pass has been like their biggest play, and it's going to be interesting to see how that kind of unfolds. Because it's still in its infancy, for the most part. So we'll see how that unfolds. See if it really is a true disruptor to the industry. See how Sony pushes back on that. But as far as the overall just feeling of a next gen experience, next gen console, I would definitely have to throw that to the PS5 just from the game lineup that they've had throughout the first year. The haptic feedback. I don't get caught up in the whole VR thing. I feel like people throw that out as like a life preserver. It's just something to kind of like hit back with. But I think the average consumer probably doesn't even give a shit about that either. When they go into these stores to buy either one of these things, they look at what speaks to them as far as a game lineup, as far as a value, as far as what they're just looking for. And nowadays with ecosystems, people just kind of stick with what they know.
That's a great point of you. Yeah.
Yeah, but overall, I think like B was saying, I pick up most of my multiplats on PS5. It was kind of the same way when I was on 360 and Sony was screwing up left and right with the PS3. They like Xbox kind of just had me in that ecosystem thing, and they were just kind of delivering on that front. So that's kind of where I was rolling. That's kind of how I'm doing right now. But I think the overall experience, I've enjoyed just from a library from the games that have been on deck from a first party standpoint. It's definitely been PlayStation. And if that makes me a pony, so be it. I know somebody in the comments gonna be like, just turn to pony cast.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you guys are all ponies. Yeah, no, I agree with you. He said yippee-ki-yay. No, I agree with you. What did you say, Slimo? Click clack.
Clickety clack clack.
Yeah.
No,
I certainly agree with you, man. It's they're great points there, man. I'm gonna go to Forte. I know Forte is gonna say Xbox. Actually, so I'm gonna pass on Forte and go to Slomo. No, I'm just kidding.
Sorry, Brap. Just real quick. I gotta head out.
Oh yeah, man. Go ahead, man.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, let everyone know about your Kickstarter, man.
Oh yes, got to do that. Yeah, I got Kickstarter going on, man. I'll put the link in the chat. Please check it out. It's a big deal. I think it's our best work to date. Kickstarter chose it as one of the projects they love, and really we were funded in the first 24 hours. But we are moving towards these stretch goals pretty fast. So check it out. We did it. We put together a great campaign. Link is in the chat, and thank you for everybody putting up with my Xbox apologizing. So everybody have a good night. And the Dune movie was trash, but good night all.
Oh, wow. That's a spice take. Yeah. All right, everyone.
Terrible takes, but we love him anyway.
Yeah. It's very spicy takes. No, thank you for coming on, Everborn. Always a pleasure, man. Let's go to Forte Ascended. Forte, man, what are your thoughts, dude?
PlayStation had the better year. PlayStation has right now, until Xbox can get whatever situation's going on with their system when it comes to way games are running. PlayStation has the better overall performing console. Everybody kind of okay, fine. I mean, I also have a PC and I also have I have a Switch too, and I probably rep Nintendo more than anything. So
you do?
Call me. Do you see all the stuff I be doing with Nintendo?
That Switch over there, baby.
Let's go.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I don't dress up as Master Chief.
That is true. That is true.
I don't take pictures with Cortana. I always got a Pikachu and a Mario because
that is true.
He's got a point.
That's my team right there. But no, but in general, I just think that I agree with Bari. The features do definitely stand out more on the PlayStation side when it comes to the haptic feedback and everything that you could do with the controller, even though that's not something that's really beneficial to me, because when I play on that system, I turn all that stuff off. Is because I predominantly play shooters and stuff over there. Like when I play Destiny, when I play Call of Duty and stuff, I don't use them. But it does really make the games more immersive when you are playing. Like I played God of War with it and stuff, and I played Ghost of Tsushima when I finally started playing that. I did play with that. So you could definitely see the benefits of actually having that tech available to you. Sometimes I just think that people don't really look at the benefits that what Xbox actually does bring and stuff when it did come to frame rate and stuff. Like Bari said, he's not going to poo-poo anybody that, really enjoys those higher frame rates, because that's not, to be honest, it's not the true next gen feature if you've been playing on 60 frames per second for a while. But I remember telling people, on this podcast, multiple podcasts, DPS and everything, before the new systems came out, that was my number one thing that I was telling people. It's like, yo, the biggest difference you're going to see next generation is frame rate, and, being able to enjoy your games more. So I always do look at that as a feature, because as much as it has been something that people like myself and Slomo and everybody on this panel have, for the most part, experienced, that's something that the vast majority of people didn't experience, and they didn't know what they were missing until we got to this generation. So I will say that the PlayStation still stands out. Games in general just are, the overall quality of the games are just better on PlayStation right now. Xbox is definitely catching up in that regard a little bit, especially over, the last couple of months and stuff with some of the releases they got. Game Pass can't be ignored, but it still hasn't got that super killer app that's just making people want to subscribe to that service. So that's all going to kind of, work itself out over the course of the next year or so. But they both done good, but if you had to put a grade or say who actually did better for 2021, PlayStation actually had a first-party game that released with their system. Xbox didn't. That by itself is kind of criminal in itself, but Xbox planned on having a game released that they would have shoved down our throats if we wouldn't have said what we said about the way that the game was being developed at the time. So hopefully going forward, games in general are just better overall on Xbox. And if that's the case, then we can revisit this conversation when it comes to year 2 of this generation. But as of right now, PlayStation definitely takes the lead.
All right. Well said, Forte. Last but not least, want to get my man Slow-Mo backslapping here. Slow-Mo, man, what do you think, dude?
He gonna say PC.
He's going to say PC. I already know.
I am not. What was the question though again?
I was gonna
pick PC.
Slow-Mo, if you bring up PC, I'm gonna kick you in your shin. Just let you know.
All right, well look, man, I got some knee guards on, so just be prepared. I'm already prepared. Okay, but seriously, Enrique, what was the question again? I'm
not gonna answer that question.
Which system what system had the better year 1 release?
Well, yeah, I mean, as far as overall platforms go, which one is the second best platform in the past year? You know what the first best was. Shin guards are on is PC. So, but outside of that, PlayStation had the best by far. Now, when I say by far, I mean because of how they launched the console. One, it's outselling the Xbox. That's one measurement. The second measurement is that you launched it with 2 exclusive games at launch. Matter of fact, no, 3, because I think Sackboy was at a launch game as well. I can't remember if it was right at launch or not. Doesn't matter.
Sackboy was not, but launch game.
It came out a month later.
Yeah,
it's close enough. Look, they have a launch window.
Well, it was year 1 launch. Yes, window,
and
Sackboy was launch.
Was it?
Launch?
Okay, I thought it was.
Okay, all right. So you had 3 launch games. You had Miles Morales, which is amazing. You had Demon Souls, which a lot of From Software fans really enjoyed.
Really good.
And then you had Sackboy, which I don't know a lot of people talked about, but it was there. You had these are, even if they only had Sackboy, that would have been one more exclusive game that isn't on their competitor's platform than Microsoft would have had. And that's just, I know they wanted Halo Infinite to be that game, but it wasn't. And so unfortunately, that's something that has to be taken into account. And Halo Infinite still won't be out by the fiscal year being up. So it doesn't get to be something that you can take credit for. Now, I'm not saying they had a bad year, because as everyone said before he left, a lot of the first party games they came out with, we used to get on them for always having the 60 rated, the 69 rated Metacritic games. That has been rectified. They don't really have that anymore. You're starting to see a lot of their first party start to pick things up. You're seeing the quality that they have in the first party in Double Fine and Arcane, and that's just going to show as they are actually going to be developing games that are fully under and funded by Microsoft with a blank check, so that they can, and they got that creative freedom to make whatever they want. And we're going to really see how that plays out. So I'm excited to see that. But that said, PlayStation brought you Returnal. PlayStation brought you Ratchet and Clank, which looked like a Pixar movie. in a lot of ways. You got Kane and Bridge of Spirits, which isn't on the other platform. I think they both had some second party or third party exclusive titles. I think that the ones that PlayStation had just had a far bigger impact. Like you see a 12 minutes or a Death's Door. Death's Door is amazing though. I think Death's Door deserves to be in the Game of the Year conversation. But I think something like Kane and Bridge of Spirits to have a bigger impact in the gaming community. Even not saying it's a better game, but a bigger impact. And I think that kind of that's important to see. And I think both platforms are in a good place. Xbox is improving, and it's evident in how popular the Series X is. They can't stay on shelves, and how well their games are now being received from, which is first party studios. But that said, the PlayStation had a better year, and us PC gamers had the best year though.
Oh man, I knew that was gonna.
I'm just saying, we getting all them games, and
that is true. We're getting all the exclusives now.
We got PlayStation PC now. They just dropping dimes. They're just like, hey man, look, God of the War on PC. Let's go. We got leaks coming out, and I don't fully believe all of them because they got stuff like Dragon Age 4 coming out in June. Like that's not happening, but still, like we getting the whole slate, baby. So I just like
the whole slate,
baby, the whole motherfucking slate. So.
Why'd you say that like Snoop Dogg?
So, but I just need to say it. Yeah. I'm sorry, Barry. But I had to say it. But no, seriously, like in regards to your question, PlayStation had the better year.
All right, man. Well, minus PC, but
PC's
no
garbage.
Wow,
Barry,
Barry just said PC's garbage. Well, look, I want to say first of all, I want to give a big shout out to what just happened.
I just have to include that in my bag.
Yeah, what just happened. I dropped a code in the live chat. What just happened? Got it. It was a Xbox Live code. And congratulations to you, sir, for winning that. And by the way, hit that like button if you haven't done so already.
You just giving Xbox Live away, man. You ain't giving Game Pass away.
No, just a code. Yeah, digital code.
I was just messing with you.
Yeah, and if you're new, hit that like button if you're new to the show, subscribe, and big shout out to everyone in the live chat. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for hanging out with us tonight, except for that weirdo who was spamming us. And Slow-Mo, the whole effing slate. Oh, my goodness. All right. So real quick, I want to give a shout out to the Evan Board Saga, who was kind enough to join us this evening. Please check him out on the Twitters. And also big shout out to our other guest here, Jay Barry. Jay, Barry, it's always a pleasure having you on, man. Let everyone know where they can find you. And, sir, you need to call up Jim Ryan and pitch him that fragrance, man. That fragrance brand. That line of fragrance of greatness.
It's being spoken about. Just be on the lookout. And when it comes, I don't know. We'll see. Nah, man, I always tell people, man, I do appreciate the invite. BRAP, it's always a pleasure being on here talking to you guys. As much as we share a difference of opinion with certain things, it's always cool to talk about those opinions and listen to you guys, because I know you guys actually play games.
Yes, this is true.
So there's times where I can just fall back and just listen rather than cutting somebody off. But nah, man, don't follow me if you're sensitive, but if you're not sensitive, my Twitter is jbarry_, and my YouTube channel is just jbarry, man. And yeah, I appreciate it. And if you guys follow me, you're probably going to unfollow in a week, but it's cool because I said don't follow me if you're sensitive.
Listen, what he's really saying, what he's really saying is don't follow him because he's super messy, and if you don't like messy, don't follow him.
Nah, man, because sometimes you go on the podcasts, people like, oh my god, yo, Jay Barry, oh my god, his voice sounds amazing, right? And they follow you on Twitter, and then a week later it's like, yo, what the fuck did I sign up for? You know what I mean? Like, listen, I'm just letting people know. Give you guys
be all over the place, man.
If you're sensitive, don't follow me, man, because
I feel you.
I might tweet something that Xbox is doing great here, but then I'm gonna give him my thoughts, like my thoughts, and then you might not like that. You get all hurt. So to save yourself the the clicking of buttons and just don't follow him.
Man, follow that man.
That's funny, man.
He one of the most genuine PlayStation dudes on Twitter. So if you want to actually follow a genuine dude, follow that dude. Don't listen to him. He is gonna get messy as heck on Twitter though. Just remember that.
Nah, but I keep it gaming. You know what I mean? Like I game a lot. Just letting you know. Like everything I speak on is my experiences. A lot of stuff when it comes to Xbox, it's my experiences. Like people be like, "Yo, do you have a Series X?" I'm like, no, I don't have a Series X. I don't feel like I need to get it, but I still can experience everything you're experiencing as far as like anything new content with my PC. So
absolutely.
But nah, man, appreciate it, Brap. And, have a good night, man.
Oh man, plug that amazing show you got, bro.
Oh, what's up, PlayStation podcast, guys? Every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern time. That's something that you guys can subscribe or follow though, because that's just me and my boy Gaming with Persona, where we talk about the latest, the greatest, the good, the bad, the ugly news of PlayStation throughout the week, man. And we appreciate everybody that support that channel.
Absolutely. It's a great show. Seriously, everyone needs to check that show out on Saturdays. Yeah. I want to also give a big shout out to Gaming with Persona. He was actually in the live chat earlier. That's someone else. If you follow and you're sensitive, you shouldn't be following him as well.
We kick him up out there. We kick him up.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. If you want some entertaining stuff, follow both of them, man. I was listening to them on Call of Duty a couple of days ago, cussing at every little thing that was going wrong. they up here winning, then they losing. The next thing I know, Crisola's like, "Man, I was going good," and then all of a sudden everything started changing.
Yo, no, you know what's funny about that? My bad, Brap. Because like people gotta understand when you playing like competitive games like that, you're gonna say a lot of shit. You're gonna be like, "Oh, this game sucks. Oh, this is bad. This is bad." But we don't really mean that. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? We're just in that moment.
You're just venting. Yeah, I get it.
I know exactly what you meant. That's why I was laughing the whole time. They up here having a ball on the game. It's like, man, this is great. And all of a sudden, it just all changed.
Then it's like, F this. Yeah. No, I hear that. But let me get to my man, Eric Jackson. Man, always a pleasure, man. Let me know where they can find you, man.
Yo, good show, guys. Great conversations. Go to have Jay Bari on, Everborn Saga. Yeah, see, Bari, he can come on. He don't have to ask us for gamer tags. He knows what's up.
Facts.
Real deal.
Yeah, like you said, he could just kick back and just listen to the show, right, Bari? I think that's what you said earlier, but
absolutely
right.
Yeah.
Hey, I do have a question, Enrique. You don't have to work tomorrow, do you?
No, I do, man. I gotta get to bed.
I was gonna say,
usually Enrique is like
the longest we've had the
wrap
podcast.
it up.
I thought he was going to end the show 40 minutes ago.
Hey, guys, I'm doing the math in my head. I'm like, tomorrow's Veterans Day. This fool ain't got to work. It's 11:47. He still ain't cut the show yet.
No, I actually
planning the barbecue and everything else tomorrow.
Barbecue. No, I got to work tomorrow. I got to get to bed.
Con pollo.
Arroz con pollo, yeah, right?
Mofongo.
That's fun. Mofongo. That's funny.
Palomilla.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, but good show, guys. Good show.
Thanks, E.
Yeah,
And
you
then
find
we
me on
got
Twitter, EC Jackson with an X.
then we got my man, Gaming Forte, man. Let me know where they can find you, man. Forte, who feeds my FOMO addiction, by the way.
Man, you going to be asking me. Well, I'm already feeding. You got something in the mail on your way to you now.
Oh, I can't wait. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you, man. You know, you make my store better because you keep buying from it. But no, man, this is a great show, and super excited and happy to have Jay Bari and Everborn through. You know, two of the best guys in the community. Let you guys know that even if we enjoy different systems and stuff and all that other stuff, we still can be friends in the end because, you know, we're all gamers and that's all that matters. But check me and Slow-Mo out on DPS Podcast tomorrow night at 9 p.m. on my channel. It's going to be pretty hectic time. We got a lot of stuff to talk about with Forza. Slow-Mo said he got some hot takes that I'm definitely looking forward to. And I have a PC I need to build tonight. So you guys have a great night and have a good week.
14.
Nice, man. All right.
Now.
I was getting slandered for not going to 900K from a couple of people, and I'm like, yo, listen, I ain't got the money to be giving them for 5th gen stuff because that stuff costs too much.
I hear that.
I was looking at RAM 34 gigs of RAM for DDR5 literally costs like almost $300 to $400.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
nope, I'll wait.
Me. Yeah.
Premium gaming.
Then
Premium costs.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not that premium. Yeah, I'll stick with the gen before the premium gen.
Hey, look. You know I'm messing with you. The stuff you got is going to do you good. It's it is what it is.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna love this 5950X. It's gonna be whoo.
All right, then we got the whole effing slate. Slow-mo backslap.
Oh, that's me. Yeah, my bad.
He said,
yeah.
that's me.
Yo, I was like, yo, who the is that somebody in the chat? I forgot.
No,
I forgot. I changed my name to that.
Slow-mo. That is you. Let me know where they can find you.
Yeah. So look, you guys can find me on my channel, Slow-mo Backslap. I am still working on videos. I promise. I am. Also, you can find me on Twitch at the same name, where I will be streaming tomorrow. Where I will be streaming, I don't know, but it'll be lunchtime with Slow-mo. Come on through, eat your lunch, watch me play a game, watch me slander somebody, and then watch my chat, keep posting their channel points, trying to scare me into playing From Software game. It's going to be a good time. So come through on that.
T-Rock says he's at 30,000.
Yeah.
He's higher than I am. I'm only at like 22,000.
And these guys wanted me to allow them to share channel points. This is exactly why I didn't do that. Anyway, it's not happening. So look, anyway.
You will play what we want you to play before the end of this year.
I don't think so.
Just keep streaming, sir. That's all we want you to do. Just keep streaming.
I might have to cut the streams in half. All right. So also Twitter, same name. But yeah, come on through. It was a great conversation. Appreciate everyone for coming through. Appreciate Barry for coming through. Always enjoy hearing Barry's opinion. And the chat was actually pretty good this time. Sometimes you guys are a little weird, and I don't know you guys, but tonight you were good. So I appreciate that a lot.
Not you calling out our fans.
That's
funny. I said they were great tonight.
He did say that. He said they were great today. All right, look, I got to wrap it up. No arguing. And we got my man B Money 101, or as Slow-mo refers to him as B knowing shit. B, let everyone they can find you, man.
Yeah, man, you can find me everywhere. Same name, B Money 101. Battlefield's out in 2 days, so that's where you'll find me.
Let's
you
go.
already know. So waiting on that countdown, man. We gonna be in that thing shooting up some shit. So
hey, what platform are you getting it on, B?
I'm getting it on the PS5, man.
Right,
my PC is not ready to handle all the nonsense that comes with Battlefield.
99.5% of the PCs out there are ready for it. Recommended GPUs are 3060.
Yeah, I'm not dealing with that nonsense. I'm just gonna get on the console that I play the most.
B, I will be on there, man. Let's get some games in, man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna play it too. I'm gonna actually install it tonight.
It's not crossplay, is it?
It is crossplay.
It is crossplay.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool. I'm getting it on console then, because I'm not messing with that PC thing.
Yeah.
But I appreciate everyone coming through, and Barry, man, that's my guy. So appreciate him coming through, and we had a great show. So see you guys next week, man.
That's what we need to see Barry at on a real shooter called Battlefield. Get off that Call of Duty.
Wow. All right, we're not gonna have that conversation today. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for stopping by, hanging out with us. We'll see you back next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern time.
Wait. One more thing before you leave. Don't you dare end this show. When you gonna play B Money?